Welcome to the Call to Cinema. I am Aaron, and this is Malcolm over here from. He's a TerraVision addict, and you got it. Do you have your TerraVision shirt on today? Did you wear the TerraVision shirt?
Yeah, I do. Right here, look. There we go.
He's an actual TerraVision subscriber. He has some stuff.
Do you have your TerraVision shirt on today? Did you wear the
Yeah, I do. Right here, look. There we
Right
go.
here, just watch. I
He's
bet
an
you.
actual TerraVision subscriber.
Give me
He
a
has
second.
some stuff. Do you have your TerraVision shirt on today? Did you wear the
Yeah, I do. Right here.
Oh man, I turned that off and then I put it back on again. Hey there, and ready to welcome, man. That always freaks me out when that happens because I hate hearing my own voice.
Yeah.
I rarely watch my stuff back, like unless I have to check for something. Hey there, Robert.
Hey, Robert. I am
I got
ready.
a haircut,
Hey.
like the little bit of hair that I got, which you can tell.
Yeah, you've still got that bit of tinting on the top of the head. That little thing right there, but just sticks
That's
up.
That's because I'm a globe-trotting adventurer.
Oh.
And I love the beard thing. Now, TerraVision, are you ready?
Yes.
I'm
I'm ready. I'm hoping for... What's up?
Did you bring the TerraVision stuff that you got come?
Yeah, I bought some of the ones that I haven't watched yet. Right on the side. So, because the other ones are upstairs. I can say what they are. The Cube, the Japanese Cube movie.
All right.
I watched that. Found it very disappointing. Not from TerraVision. It wasn't like disappointing from TerraVision. Beautiful release, but just a very disappointing movie. Too much CGI. Too much repetitiveness of basically the original. Really, it wasn't. It didn't really stand out.
It's hard to beat us Canadians, man, when it comes to our Canadian horror.
Yeah. Unless it's Cube Zero, then it's awful. So
we disown that one.
So I've got a few, so I'll show them. Let me just move this so I can put them in. So I got Attack of the Killer Refrigerator.
It looks gorgeous, but that's when I'm iffy on.
I'll tell you right now, it's only a 55-minute Blu-ray, and that's with 2 features on it.
How long is Attack the Killer Refrigerator?
15 minutes.
I think that's... I can't say anything because when they shortened my film that I wrote down, it had to be around that length.
Really?
Yes, I wrote a 90-minute movie. It turned out 15 minutes long because the lead actor died. I'm not even joking. And they didn't recast them. They just took his scenes out.
Ridiculous.
No, I actually used to write films.
So he was the lead. They just took his thing out.
So you can imagine what amazingly coherent storyline that was.
Oh, God. This one, I have no idea how to say it. Shrigalia?
We'll go with that.
All right. This is a Barry Prima movie.
Oh, nice. I love that.
Yeah. This was compared to Friday the 13th, but a little bit more crazy. So... I knew I had to have it.
Have you watched? Is that one you watched yet, or?
No, I haven't watched it yet, but I want to. It's just I've been trying to catch up on some vinegar syndromes to try and get these in the section where I put them, because the wife's getting a bit antsy about all of them all over the place like this. I've been trying to figure.
Well, we had a couple of crates here before, and my mother-in-law came in. And she's like, it looks too messy. You've got to straighten it away. Like, get stuff put on the farm. She was totally right, too, by the way. Once we got everything straightened away, it looks so much better. So,
yeah. Well, for me, I've got my movie room. I've technically got 3 movie rooms, but there just isn't enough room, is there? So,
yeah, well, it never is. Like, that's the thing. And with more stuff coming. That's
yeah. I mean, the thing is, I wouldn't mind so much if the light didn't keep coming through and shining on stuff. Or if we did have so many radiators all over us. This one has 4 radiators in it.
Yikes. Well, that'll like... Ever have those movies you have them for a while, and it gets all kind of sun damaged?
That's why I'm trying to avoid. Hey, Jimmy.
I'm going to keep showing something while I go and grab my drink that is not Pepsi, but I can't say what it is. It could be anything.
Oi! All right, guys. So... I'll get good water because you've got to keep hydrated. This has turned into an exercise video right now. No, it hasn't. So, Next up, we've got Captivities from Television. This, I believe, is a shot and video movie. And I've heard fairly decent things about it. As you can see on the back there, the quality is not exactly the most beautiful, but that's shot video for you. So I, for some reason, look at this and I just love the cover. I think that's such a great cover for some weird reason. So next up, we've got some guy who kills people.
I love the title.
I love that cover. It's
That's
so
such a
comic book like. And then when you pull the other side out, you get like that. This, from what I remember, because I got this originally in the UK for I think like 50p on Blu-ray. And I turned it off. It's got Lucy Davis in it. And I turned it off because I thought it was an ear. But hey, I bought it for Television for $20 technically. So then we've got Cannibal Campout. Right? It's time to eat.
I'm not a cannibal guy.
This you don't like cannibal stuff.
No. Like I gotta feel my collection
again.
Mostly because
this is supposed to be a really good one. Now, I gotta be honest, when I look at this, I go, wow, a lot of shot and video stuff in this first lot I got, from them. So I'm glad that when they did their announcements, there isn't so many in it. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, that's a nice.
And this one is Get My Gun, which I believe is. It's a weird movie. And Get Out Hell, which I can't remember. I've got it somewhere. I think that one's Spanish, I believe. With the goat on the cover.
Okay, yeah.
So yeah, and then I've got Linnea Quigley's Horror Worker, which I watched on the AA film, so I've kept it sealed for the time being. Because I was like, there's no point me opening it before we watched it technically, 2 months ago.
That was the Chainsaw one, right? Hell of a Chainsaw, I think.
Yeah. So I'm really looking forward to finding out what's up tonight, because they're releasing these while they're releasing the other ones as well. So there's like 5 releases every month. And
we're getting 2 announcements today, 2 Blu-ray announcements.
Yep.
So it should be good. So we got a set last week and a cassette tape, which was unique, and now we're gonna get 2 Blu-ray. I'm hoping like one will be like kind of a regular film and maybe a shot and video, like 1-on-1.
Can you hear that?
No, what?
The drilling a minute ago.
Oh no.
Okay, if you can't hear it, don't have to worry about it.
But that was what was I gonna say? It's hot here. It was like we went out to do like grocery shop today, right? And so we get everything done. We're coming out. It's warm. So it seems kind of warm. It's 41 degrees. I get into the car. I turn the car. I can't even breathe. It's so hot inside the car. So I put the window down because don't want to expire before the video. But no, it's hot here. This has got to. We need some cool weather.
What I was going to say was I've been in hot weather, probably not as hot as it is there, but where it's really hot summer here, and I was in my dad's car a few times, and it was like I was going to be sick, from how hot it was. It was so horrible.
I remember when I was in college, my first year, I had 2 kind of car experiences. So it's like got really hot in the summer.
Yeah.
And coming on summer, closer to fall, it was like really hot there. And one time there was this girl, and I was walking on the road with a friend of mine, and she had locked her car door, and she could, her keys were in the car. So we got a clothes hanger, wire hanger, and got it opened up. But the second time though was a lot more serious because this girl had left her little dog in the car, and we were trying to it was like get him out, which the hanger wasn't working, so they actually had to smash the window. And she was okay with it. Like she was like, just help my dog, right? Yeah, no, I thought about that. So I could have been the dog in that situation.
Oh, I've had the situation of that with a dog where it's not somebody. It happened to me personally. It happened with my mum. My mum had a friend, and her dog was stuck in the car, right? Because her keys fell down, like a manhole, kind of like draining thing, by the car, right?
No.
Couldn't get in, so they said to somebody, "Hi, can you do this for me?" A guy. So he ran off, grabbed the brick, threw it through the car, right? It hit the window, smashed the window, and hit the dog in the head, and then bounced through the other window.
Oh, poor dog. Was he okay?
Yeah, he was okay, but he was a bit, traumatized.
Yeah. Some guy who kills people is decent, and Randy says.
It was. It's okay, but I couldn't get into it at the time. I'm hoping, since that was years ago.
How close are we to the time right now?
We are 15 minutes away.
So for those that don't know, we did a video last night.
Yeah, we did.
And got put up this morning because I had to do some editing on it. It ends at a most inappropriate because I didn't get editing perfect. So you were showing your graphic novels, and we get through the third graphic novel, and here's the last one. Oh God, that's the worst thing. I hate editing on YouTube. Like,
yeah, it's so bad.
It is. I mean, and it takes forever. It should only take like a couple minutes, like to trim a clip, right? It takes hours. I started editing it last night. It finished this morning.
Yeah, because I saw it was missing. I was like, where the hell did it go?
Yeah. Sometimes things gotta be edited out and done stuff like that. So, but yeah, if it's on iMovie or if I had Final Cut Pro or something like that, that's fine. You can work with that. Then you just go.
Yeah, fairly easy. Yeah.
But I freaking.
The problem is you can't just take it off and then put it back on because then you lose the comments and everything.
Yeah, I did that before. Actually, I was one that wasn't sure on. Like video was. I said, okay, I'll just take it off for a bit and I'll put it back on. And when I did, you lose all your views, so there's everything. Luckily, I didn't on this one. And for like a call to comics, because we talk cinematic stuff, we got a lot of hot takes. Like I unusually vitriolic rant by me on that video. For those that don't know, you don't get that from me a lot, but you got it last night. Was surprising when we talked to Black Adam. Like, so I guess the moral of the story is
you said it was your favorite.
Aaron should not
you
talk
put it
about
in Excelsior.
Oh yeah, Excelsior. I know where the Rock. They're going the Rock's terms. I know where the Rock can put. But what he can do.
Wouldn't it be amazing if Dwayne Johnson popped in and commented on the video going, "You think I'm this? I've just bought you a house."
I think your movie is this. So you can take that Black Adam movie, shine it up really,
and stick it right up your candy.
Oh man, what can you imagine? Like a wrestler that to that level of popularity that their second show, which is now their big show, is actually named after something of catchphrase that he created. Incredible.
It's crazy, isn't it?
Oh, what's the time? It's like the time I go back and I watch some of that wrestling stuff, and I know some people find some of it, I don't know, slightly problematic in that, but I love the Attitude Era. I was a huge fan of it.
Do you remember the SmackDown hotel promos? Yeah. They were some of the best.
But
I think the Attitude Era was great, and I think it was a lot of fun. But I think the problem is it's one of those things that nobody's going to let go of, and it's not happening, is it?
No, it's not happening again. I mean, like it was a thing of its time.
Hi, Chris.
Hey, welcome, Chris, man. I'm a huge fan of AW. I won't talk too much wrestling. Don't worry, guys. We're going to be looking at stuff. And I'm still a big fan because of what they do. But what I'm not a fan of is they're doing like this whole thing. Hey, Warlock, man, just say that. Is they're doing this thing with CM Punk. And they're saying, CM Punk could cut a promo at the end of it on like Hangman Page. And Hangman Page, some people weren't allowed to be in the show. So they're really trying to make it seem real. to the point where
Yeah.
they're telling the dirt sheet people that it's real. It's all real. It's not. But here's the
No.
thing. Here's the thing. 90% of the people that watch the show don't care or don't know anything about what's going on behind. They're not watching the scrum. They don't know about CM Punk and whether him and those other wrestlers are big fans of each other or not. So they're doing what WCW did. They're
Yep.
like doing this kind of reality based promo crap to where a wrestler comes out and half the audience is like, "What's he talking
Who's
about?"
this? Yeah.
It's not, no, like they know, but like, what's he talking about? Like
That's
and
what I
they're
mean. Who's this they're
backstage
talking about? Why
terms,
they,
like, yeah, using backstage terms and it's frustrating. Anyway, I gotta
well,
get
one
off.
thing I've learned about wrestling fans over the last few years is most of them don't even have a brain cell.
Oh yeah,
That's what I've
well, and we
You know what I mean? Because they don't follow things. They have these really weird views and stuff, like, oh, this person's going to smash this person. And they talk like they're 10 again.
I'm okay with people that like take it a little more seriously, but as long as it drives me when they're like, okay, I guess WWE is the only company to watch because they're the most popular, so that must mean they have the best wrestling.
Personally, I think the only company, if anyone had to pick a company to watch ever, is Stardom.
Actually, I did mind Stardom. Thank you very much for what they did. They put out some decent people. Stardom, by the way, guys, it's a female led company. Much
I
like
missed the bra and panties and pillow fight matches. I mean, they were the best times, weren't they?
Hin's favorite announcer, Jerry Lawler.
Puppies!
It is so now. I got to check, see how close we got, because we got
9 minutes.
Up there, so that we got ready.
We've got 9 minutes, guys. Does
we'll go.
anybody who's watching got any idea what's going to be announced today? It can be as crazy as you like, whatever you think it is. It could be anything.
Exactly.
Now, most companies, they release, kind of thingy movies. So if you watch Universal, okay, point B grade, maybe there'll be a C grade, and triple A and that. But on this, it could be your own home movies. That's right. So, for instance, Ready, if you made any home movies, they might be on there today. You know what I mean? Because you never know. If you sold the rights, obviously.
Now I'm terrified.
I'm using my second Google account to use YouTube because I set up my new iPhone. Does anyone know how to get my primary account back? I subscribed last
normally
night.
you really should just be able to sign out and sign into your other account. Just use your new your older email for your primary account, and make sure you get your password.
Warlock subscribed.
Nice. What subscription did you go for, Warlock?
It was the 20. I think he said he was originally going to do. If I remember correctly.
Yeah, that's what. Did he go for the 20? Did he go for the 1,000? Hopefully it's 20. Hopefully it's 20 to start out.
Well, he was going to outdo me because he said, I'm going to do the 20 and then we'll go for the 100.
Oh.
So, 20. What's your favourite releases you're open to get so far then, from what you've seen? All my moves were shot on video. Well, there you go then. Straight to video. Shot on video. It's going to happen. It's going to happen then, Ready. I'm telling you. We're going to have a picture of your face smiling in the corner and then shots from the videos that you did, right? And me and Alan are going to be sitting there going, oh, we can't wait to see that.
Actually, I will. Do you ever get go to I guess yard sales, boot sales, whatever, and and see those blank videotapes and wonder what am I I'm totally buying this because I'm not I'm gonna get somebody's tape. What am I gonna get on this? Is it gonna be 6 hours of a movie or some TV shows, music videos? Is it gonna be something that somebody's gonna be
someone's home video?
Yeah, exactly.
I'd love that. I'd love to get VHSs, find them and go, ooh.
Oh, that would be
go and start with releases from 2 weeks ago. That sounds good. I think that works pretty well actually, especially with what's coming out.
What stuff's coming out looks incredible. I'm just seeing what gets released where.
I think it's gonna be great.
13 weeks of October.
Yep.
The Lost in the 80s was last week's announcement. The Joe Zazu collection.
Yep.
And I'm kind of interested to see where they go from here. Let's just see if we can show from here. So you can see right there. I love that that horror workout LP.
Yeah, it's lovely, isn't it?
It is. Do you have that?
No, I don't have that because that's a different subscription.
Yeah,
but I won't buy it anyway because I ain't got record players. To be honest with you, I think they're so big. I can only collect so much. Do you know what I mean?
We've got like a ton of records, but they're at the farm right now. We had a record player, but it kind of died on us. So we said record players are cheap to buy, so we just grabbed one while we're here. But I haven't seen one since it came here, actually. No, actually, it's not true. I have seen a couple, and they weren't that expensive.
You need to grab one. You need to grab one, and then what you need to do is you need to open the OnlyFans and do dancing videos with Hind.
Hind went up like I'm doing. Like I told you, I'm doing the reverse OnlyFans. Like I'll take it off. Better give me some money.
You can both dance dressed up as movie characters.
Wear my Captain America onesie.
There you go.
I have
perfect. One. I already told my wife that as soon as I get my weight down as much as I want, I'm dressing up as the Crimson Executioner.
I'm not sure we're going to be this year. Last year I was Pugsley from the Addams Family, which worked out pretty good. This year I'm not sure on what we're going to do. I've got a Beetlejuice costume. Exactly. Pay money to take it off. That's exactly what I'm going to do. I'm going to see if we're getting...
4 minutes. 4 minutes.
And the last time it came on the regular site. So
hopefully... we've got a tote bag. That tote bag's no.
Yeah, that is a new one. Unfortunately, would have been neat if the tote bag would have been a bit of a giveaway, you know? Like to kind of what was coming up.
Would have been nice if the tote bag had been in the subscription.
Well, $12, not too bad.
I'm going to contact you and go, wait, I want that.
Oh, they had a Night Riders LP. They have some good LPs, man.
They've got quite a few. There's the Time Bag ones there as well.
Yeah, the Time one's nice. I mean, I saw that in theater. Weird movie. I was iffy on it the first time. Records made a comeback. Your dad used to have an expensive Sony record player tape deck. I know what that's like.
Well, American Steadiest Home Video was already announced, Joey. Worm Eaters, I'm not sure, but I know a lot of people are hoping for Worm Eaters. But I know they already announced America's Steadiest Home Video.
People really like hoping for a movie called Worm Eaters?
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. I'm not sure if I've seen it before or not, but a lot of people have been going crazy for it lately, saying about how they hope it's that. Well, so it must be decent.
I just realized I didn't have my iPad, so I'm seeing messages after everybody else.
Oh no!
So and we're going to be going right to the page. Don't you, Siri, go to hell.
Ooh. So you got yours on, have you? Your SIRI?
Always, yeah. Because I do use it a lot, to be honest with you.
So if I talk to it, it'll start up, right?
Yes, so don't dare.
I'm going to do it.
Based on the hints they gave on Instagram. I don't know what Worm Eaters is. I'm not going to lie to you. So that will be something I wouldn't be able to talk too much about. I'll let everybody else talk about Worm Eaters because I'll be like,
everybody else talk about Worm Eaters.
What the hell is that?
It's the Boogeyman from WWE.
It's the
we got it. Oh, it is. Look, I thought they announced that already.
So, well, I guess maybe this is the official. So let's go to America's Deadliest Home Video first.
Well, it looks like you were right, Joey. Sorry about that. It's just that I thought they were putting different stuff up.
So with Danny Bonaducci from the Partridge Family, I kid you not. I guess dramatic reading.
Sure.
Here we go. When Doug ventures out on a road trip, he packs his home video camera expecting to film his adventures. Unexpectedly, he runs into 3 criminals led by Dreyer, who abduct the vacationer and force him to turn his lens on their atrocious, blood-spilling exploits. Will Doug remain a victim, or will he succumb to the madness and lose himself in the murderous mayhem? I'm going to guess a bit of both.
I think so.
From director Jack Perez, who did Some Guy Who Kills People. I don't know a lot about this film. I don't think I've seen it. Have you seen this one?
No. Short video, I haven't seen it.
A lot of features.
I only recently got to I only got into short video quite recently.
Oh, and Reddy, have a great time there, man. Getting back to work. Hopefully work is good. I don't like this cover.
Take care, Eddie.
All jacked up and full of worms. So this is the Worm Readers one, right?
I'm guessing
Okay.
so.
I'm gonna read this one, but this
Alright,
is
let's read
this is not a me thing. Roscoe is a maintenance worker at a scuzzy hotel looking for an escape. A desire that becomes twisted reality when he and some others discover a stash of powerful hallucinogenic worms that take the group on a trip to hell. Guaranteed to offend or disgust, all jacked up and full of worms, is a mind-bending experiment in pushing the boundaries of cinema. Nope. Hey, Alex, welcome, man. I mean, it's America's Deadliest Home Videos interest me. Out of the 2 of these, Danny Banducci.
Hi, Alex.
Not sure how he was when he grew up, but we'll see. All jacked up and full of worms, or AKA the Worm Eaters, I guess, doesn't grab me.
Neither of them look great, to be honest. I'd probably give America's Deadliest Home Video more of a chance than the other one, probably. The other one just looks cheap HD mess to me. But, if other people got higher views of it, then maybe it is good. You can only tell from a certain aspect.
Yeah, like certain films are going to apply, I'd say something like The Worm Eaters is going to, there's definitely the splatter group and the more the gore group that that's going to appeal to. I'm just not within that group. Doesn't mean the movie's not good. It just means it's not something that particularly hits me. If I was in a store and these 2 movies are here and I was going to add the bones, pick up one of them, I pick up America's Deadliest Home Video because the plot that intrigues me. The idea, the whole kind of like Spree, right? Kind of basically the plot.
Yeah.
To it, kind of intrigues me a bit.
Why couldn't if they were announced one they already announced in that video? Why couldn't it be slashers?
We'll get there. I think we're going to get some of the. I think that's what's happening, right? We've seen some of the announcements, so we're going to have different stuff that's announced, but we haven't seen the actual releases and features and all that. So we're going to be getting to what it is, and there's some that might be 4K, and we're not sure yet.
Hi, Raf.
Hey, there, Rafe. Welcome, man. But I'll be honest, I actually, I'm a bit more excited about the Lost in the 80s collection. Just, I know it's more of home movie type stuff. But
that seems like only 4 movies for the price of one, technically.
Yeah, that's more of a me thing. So I always take that in consideration, guys. When anybody me or anybody we give our opinions on movies, it's our opinions. So
I saw the picture of the baby. Sorry, go on.
Oh no, go ahead.
I saw the picture of the baby on it. It did look a bit creepy, but it just had a cheap look to it. When did it come out?
In the 90s, I think. Let me just check though. Maybe I'm wrong. I have been wrong. 2022?
2022.
Well, not everything can be old. If they can get a hold of a newer movie, go for it, right? But it's just
not if I could get on DVD over here for $5 in Asda.
You got $1,000 subscription, dude.
I'm getting all of them anyway, aren't I? So,
well, here's the thing. At the end of the day, man, if there's something you don't like and it's subscription-wise, you're saving a bit of money on it. And if you really don't like the release, you can always sell the release back.
If I don't like it, I'll just give it to Alex.
Okay,
especially if it's OV, because he hates it.
You're going to give it to him because he hates it?
Scary at 6%. Oh, yeah, I love Scary at 61st. That was
I hated it.
That's the joke.
I mean, I'd hate it probably because I know the background, like those people that made Scaring 61st, a little different.
Yeah,
They're
they're
conspiracy
very
theories.
different. I have to be honest, I found it completely boring. I found it dull. I found it just went all over the place, and it was just ridiculous. You know, the ending in itself is awful.
Like I couldn't like it was
I
$10.
was I
It was
kept
$10 on
I
Vinegar Syndrome. And I still said no.
yeah I kept hoping that the ghost of Epstein would turn up and just kill them. Like actually see it. It's awful.
So for me, this is a 1 out of 2 ain't bad situation. One that I
What
like.
about the tote bag? What do you think of the tote bag?
I love the tote bag. It's got that old school Halloween look, kind of like you'd see back when you were like a kid, and you go to like a Shoppers when I
Yeah,
kind of go to Shoppers Drug Mart or something like that, and you can buy these Halloween tote bags.
yeah.
So it kind of gives me a feel to that.
I think one of the things I hate about living in England now, right, and you know, is I'm less likely to go to conventions where they actually have, you know, like these kind of things like television and, you know, Vinegar Syndrome stalls and Severin stalls. And I know they have like 88 films now, but it's not the same. You know, you just don't feel the same kind of thing. You know, it feels more mechanical, I guess, from them. I went to like London Comic Con and they were there, you see things like Television and Seven and that, these really kind of other kind of out the way ones.
Oh, conspiracy films are not bad with conspiracy films. It's just when people kind of believe it that it becomes a little bit more unusual.
The best scene in 61st, right, was when that woman was hanging from the thing, right, choking. The other girl was just staring at her like, oh right, yeah, yeah. And I agree with you, Alex. I think it is a wealthy background thing because none of the women in that were even attractive. That's how you know.
That's why you don't. I'll watch both of these films before Scary 61st. So there you go. That's how much I didn't like Scary 61st. And I'm not a big gore.
I like how you call it. I like how you call it Scary 61st and not 61st. 61st. I like that.
I mean, what do you think? What on these two here?
I'm excited by America's Deadliest Home Video because I think that's going to be something I've never seen. Or Derry Does Demons. Do that tonight because I've seen it. America's Deadliest Home Videos. I'm looking forward to it because I'm slowly getting into shot on video more. The other one, 9 is from 2022, puts me off a little bit because I don't know. There's something more about an older film that gives me more of a love for it, especially in the cheaper times. Like those Erotic Thrillers, for example. When you watch the Erotic Thrillers from the 90s and 80s, you give it more of a chance than you would from one from like 2021.
I guess in a way, for some newer stuff. Well, one, it's a shallow pool, like with all the companies. Eventually, you got to do go, and it helps to get newer people get their movies and stuff out there.
I agree with you, Warlock, with the obscure, but where's from 2022? It just feels like I could pick it up in a store. I bet you, if it's released over on DVD, I could walk into Asda and there it be. What happened?
What happened? Apparently, it's all good.
Oh. You know, I bet you I could go in Asda and I could pick that up in there, right, in the cheap aisle.
It's not,
and to me, that makes it non-obscure. You know, to me, obscure is where you can't get on disc anywhere else, or it isn't out. You know. But I agree with you, Warlock, on that. But obscure is more important in my view. So I'm glad it appeals to you. You know, especially with the slip and everything. You know. So television releasing a few of Jack Perez's films. He also did Some Guy Who Kills People. Yes.
Excellent. I keep an eye on
and that film you can get for 50p in CEX on Blu-ray.
Well, yeah, you got to be CX. So, I'm going to say, like you said, you're a little bit like saddened by the fact you don't get to go to as many conventions as you did before. I live in Morocco. I feel so sorry for you. But no, we do have the Marrakesh Film Festival, which is fantastic. So we got, was it like Julie?
What's this? I feel like television releasing any POC they can get their hands on, mixed in with some good movies as well. I'm confused by who their audience is. I think because they're fairly new technically to this, I think they're trying to get different audiences in so that they've got different genres that they can throw out any time. Because they've bought martial arts movies, they've got some documentaries, they've got shot on video, they've got horror. So I think their audience is supposed to be, I think it's supposed to be many, many different.
Like to play devil's advocate here, you could say the same thing with Vinegar Syndrome.
Yeah, you could nowadays, definitely.
Yeah.
I got it for £2. Haha, decent film, but nothing groundbreaking. Works well as a double. Yeah, exactly. I agree with chocolate strawberry vanilla. Warlock says nothing much available anymore, so it's good for me. Well, I'm happy for you, Warlock, because I'll be honest with you. The reason I joined Vinegar Syndrome, Radiance, and Television is because I want, I want obscure, I want stuff that's not out, especially over here. I want to be able to see that really, really old or really obscure war film, that you can't see anywhere else, or that martial arts film in better quality, Oh, hey, Gino.
I hope you feel better, man.
Me and Gino were hugging last night, and that's why he's not feeling well, because I had a bad cough. So, sorry about that, Gino. Sorry about that. Didn't mean to pass it on. Good job on the book so far. I've been seeing your updates. It's been really impressive. I got a Blu-ray title named Chatroom. I've got Chatroom. I love Chatroom. Have you seen Chatroom?
Aaron Taylor Johnson. Yeah, I did.
I really like that movie.
He was in the running for James Bond for a bit, eh?
That would have been a bad choice.
I don't know. I think
that right now. Too girly.
Better than some of the choices that I've seen.
Too girly looking.
No. Like, did you see him in like the what's the movie where he played the assassin? Like it's the one.
Oh, are you talking Bullet Train?
Yeah, he was great in that.
It's still too girly for Bond. Yeah. Too girly for Bond.
Here's the thing. Like, James Bond, like, have you read the James Bond books?
Yeah, I have. Well, not all of them, but I've read some of them.
No. Here's the thing. We don't want somebody completely close to the books because James Bond's a dick. For those that don't know that have never read the books, he's not like in the movies. James Bond is.
You mean he's not blonde? He's not blonde and short like Daniel Craig.
But he's tough like Daniel Craig. And Daniel Craig has a physicality to him, and James Bond needs a physicality aspect to him. Like the closest to somebody that looks like James Bond, never actually kind of played James Bond in an actual James Bond movie, but played him in a satire, and was the actor that James Bond's look was based off of is David
Peter
Niven.
Sellers.
No, David Niven. The James Bond is based off of David Niven. Yeah, so when he was writing James Bond, so you want to type it like more of like maybe slightly more.
The best James Bond look I like, all right, was Pierce Brosnan.
Well, Pierce Brosnan had the toughness of Connery,
the sex appeal, the charisma. It was amazing. Roger Moore would have been great, but they brought him in, didn't they, in the 70s when he basically was all camp. So kind of.
Well, that being said, like.
They're fun, don't get me wrong, but I'm saying you can't take them seriously.
James Bond movies, like, hands down. Spy Loves Me, one of the best James Bond movies, like, across the board.
One of the best James Bond movies of all time is A View to a Kill.
You're joking.
I'm serious.
I
love that movie. Max Zorin, the song Duran Duran. Oh, incredible. The car getting knocked in half, everything. And who doesn't love Mayday? Who didn't want to get with Mayday? Oh, she threw me around like she did. Oh my word! I'll tell you something. If somebody said to me they were creating this ain't A View to a Kill, I'd buy that day one because it was amazing, incredible movie, incredible. Can't believe you don't like it.
I saw it in theater. I mean, like, what got me about A View to a Kill, what I did like about A View to a Kill, like the actual character James Bond. No, I'm talking about like who his those physical features were based off of. But she didn't work. Like the lead actress, I love Tanya Roberts.
Oh yeah, she was awful.
Like,
But
and
I wasn't looking at her. I was looking at Mayday. I love her. Yeah, I love when she turns into a Bond girl. Bye bye, Mr. Bond. Brilliant, absolutely brilliant, incredible. That's a 10 out of 10.
actually, Remington Steele killed James Bond for Pierce Brosnan. See,
Hold on, we're missing a couple here. Alex says, I feel like Malcolm and I should be including the extras and stashes. We have pushed the film to its cult status. Bye bye. I agree. I think we should be.
Pierce Brosnan actually lost the role of James Bond because of Remington Steele. See, initially he was supposed to play Remington Steele much earlier than he played him. GoldenEye was supposed to be his first movie. It was supposed to be the first movie that Timothy Dalton did. He was suited up. He did his screen test. He actually was getting ready to sign a contract. And Remington then decided, no, we need one more season of Remington Steele, which turned out to be like a couple lame TV movies. But because of that, he was stuck with Remington Steele.
He was
and
great. He was great in Live Wire. And Tough End and that. I think all those helped, to be honest.
That is because Pierce Brosnan is a freaking fantastic actor.
Pierce Brosnan, right? When I first saw him in Long Good Friday, I went, oh, you know, this guy, he's got the look. He's got the look, right?
He's almost silent. Like,
and then but it's the shower scene. The shower scene is phenomenal. You know, where he's in there with the guy and the guy ends up dead. And you're just like, oh, I like this. So right now, in case we're wondering, I'm sounding like watching two guys in the shower. Anyway, so I liked him in that. I liked him in Taffin. I like him in Live Wire. I like him in The Fourth Protocol. What was the two movies he was in? The Detonator 1 and 2. I like them. You know, I thought they were decent. So I think all that and probably the Remington Steele character together, if you put them together, all would add to Bond, you know, the action wise.
And his first wife, Sandra Harris, actually, she was a Bond girl before he became Bond.
I'll tell you the best Bond girl was. The best Bond girl of all time, right, has to be the Russian one, you know, the one who was in GoldenEye. I'd say Famke Jessen. Let's talk about this a minute. Famke Jessen in that movie. Oh, I'd like to have had her on a top. Do you know what I mean? Whoa. Absolutely amazing. That woman, I tell you something, in that movie, when did it come out? It came out when I was 7, right? And it gave me blue balls in. You know what I'm saying?
I think one of the greatest Bond girls of all time is Barbara Bach in Spy Who Loved Me, because we finally get a character that can really is up there, like kind of with Bond. Like in Bond, like always kills. It always kills like people random. There's always random spies that get killed, but this is the first time it has any weight and gravitas to it, because he kills her. He kills her boyfriend, her husband, whatever. And so she wants
and she still bangs him.
Yeah, well, yeah.
How disgusting is that? You killed my boyfriend, I'm still going to get off of you.
Gotta move on. And he was a bad guy. He was a bad guy. Do you ever watch French horror? I like the French New Wave Extremity. Yeah, actually, I went. I do. I actually like the French.
Martiez? You like Martiez?
Which one?
Is it Martiez or Martiez?
Martyrs?
Martyrs, that's it.
I love Martyrs. Remake, not so much. But I actually love Martyrs. I watched it, and I thought about it for days. Like what she said, you know? I like High Tension. I don't care what people say, but like, oh, the ending. No, I like the
best bit in High Tension is the bit with the head in the truck. That's the best bit. After that bit, it's game over.
The best bit of High Tension is hands down right after the knock on the door. Right after the knock on the door, because that is brutal. Like it's because it goes extremely insanely brutal. Like he just comes in like a force of nature and kills the hell out of everybody. Like the dad, the mother, the kid in the field. It's just insane. But my favorite new like French new wave horror film is a movie called Inside, and it's about a woman that is a car accident with her husband, and her husband dies in the car accident, and she's pregnant. So it's coming at Christmas time, and it's getting close to when she's going to have the baby, and a lady comes and knocks on her door, and things take a terrifying turn from there. So I won't tell you what happens, but if you haven't seen Inside, it is a brutal film. It is a tense film. It's a nihilistic film. And it is one of the best examples of the French extremities.
I will tell you what happens in Inside because I've played the game version. The baby's born, right? Goes to work in an office and starts rolling around into a pub, becoming this big, massive ball, right? And then at the end, right, it shoots out of the thing. You find out, but it's about to kill the whole world.
You've not seen this movie, have you?
No.
Okay. You should see it's a really good movie.
Vincent Cassel is brilliant in that movie, The Devil.
Vincent Cassel's brilliant in everything, man. That guy's good.
Well, I forgot, Jello, on your recommendation. You weren't kidding. Perverted as hell.
I told you. Volume 4, right? The one with like Arabella and Sister Ursula. Yeah.
I watched Arabella for the first time. I will say this: she's stacked.
Oh, that was. Did you recently watch it?
Yeah, for the first time, stacked.
One, that girl's gorgeous, she's absolutely stunning, and two, holy crap, what a weird ass movie.
Yeah, very weird.
Like but in a good way. Like you expect the cop when you first see him, like, oh, maybe this cop is going to be kind of like one of the good guys. No,
I love it.
And then like
it feels very realistic in that sense.
I hope not. But
I like as well where a partner's like, I look here I am, and she's like, what? You're on your feet, and you're like, yeah.
It is.
I've been doing it for you.
It is such a strange film, but I love it. I like Volume. I don't own Volume 4 yet. Only on the first 3 volumes. I need to buy Volume 4.
Well, you better get it soon because it's going out of print.
Yeah. Watch me. I'll end up having to give the slimline version of that one. Just trust me.
I've recently got, get this, I recently got Volume 1 with the 3 discs. And
nice.
I had the slimline version. And I was like, you know what? I'll throw that in the bin. Get the big one. You know? I didn't throw it in the bin. In case people wondered, I'm not throwing it in the bin when it's worth like 30 quid.
No, it's like at the end of the day, as long as you got the movies. But I did like those. I really like those. That's like the double feature you did, the kind of the fashion giallo one.
That one was ridiculous. They were crazy, right? Because it felt more like music videos after. I'm like, after time, I feel like jumping up, just going, yeah, and dancing with it. You know, I mean, I liked them. I thought they were all right. Don't get me wrong, but I thought there was too much of this. Oh, let's do these big photo shoots and that for like 10, 15 minutes.
Well, it's kind of what they are. They're fashion set.
I know, but you know what I mean.
Yeah, I know. That's like, man, I can't believe this countryside movie got so much country.
Too much water.
Well, what the hell? This Titanic movie and all this water. Where's this coming from?
I love the films, which, you know what? The Burning is a good film.
Burning's fantastic. I love
horror movies. My favourite are Japanese and Korean horror movies. I have Asian, Tartan, extreme movies. Way! I like in that, Raph. Me and the Trinder man, right? We, when we were both young kids, you know, he's only 13. I'm like, what, 19? And yeah, I got a great beard early. You know, we collected Tartan Asian DVDs constantly. You know, Our Point, Chaos, Abnormal Beauty, you name it. You know, JSA, Joint Security Area, Old Boy, you name it. Lady Vengeance, you know, you name it. You keep going on and on, you know, K. Amazing. In case people wonder, I'm not 19. All right. I mean, I know I look good for my age, but I'm not 19.
Live in the town where it was filmed. countryside in terms of they just filmed in the woods and the canal. Was there any film? I'm trying to think.
Have you seen Abnormal Beauty?
Which one?
Abnormal Beauty.
I don't know if I have.
Oh, you're missing out on a classic. I love that film. I love the ending of that film because it's so unexpected. Yeah, Our Point was good. I liked Our Point. Whispering Stairs or Staircase? What's that? I think it was Whispering Stairs, I think it was. There's a whole load of them. There was I think there was 100 of them all together. I used to own them all, but most of them look terrible now. You know, when you put them in the player.
I know there's a whole series for that.
3 Extremes, yeah, Titan Asia Extreme.
3 Extreme. Did you see 3 Extremes?
Yeah, 1 and 2. I loved it.
The dumplings.
Did you watch the Dumplings movie individually? Because there's an individual one as well.
I initially had that, because I had the set that had the dumplings individual, but when I moved, I lost it, unfortunately.
I agree, Alex. I think Abnormal Beauty is a lot better than Shutter. I've always preferred. It's always been one of my top 10 lists. Abnormal Beauty.
I haven't seen it. I gotta check it out.
You really need to. It's brilliant. They look good on a PC, guys. Bad upscale on 55-inch plus TV now, unfortunately. Exactly, yeah. That's part of those old DVDs now. Some of them are incredible. I watched a Kung Fu movie that was released on DVD in 1999, and it looked brand new on my TV. And it's just weird that some discs do and some discs don't.
Actually, we're talking about this, Robert, before the stream. I'm actually very excited. It comes out on Friday. I have an Xbox Series X, so it's with Game Pass. It's free with Game Pass. So I've already set up the pre-download for it. And if it's good, and when I finally get my PS5, I'll probably rebuy it if it's really good.
Yeah. Well, I'm curious to say, will Texas Chainsaw Massacre, the game, be any good? Or what I want to do is I want to get on the PC, right? And I want to get on a really good PC, and I want to customize the chainsaw. I want to customize it into something from Saints Row 3 when they're running down the road. I think that would be hilarious. The top video line was fantastic.
Are you going to watch the Jeff Hardy Texas Chainsaw Massacre deathmatch? I love that they're doing that, actually. I adore that they're doing that. I probably will, actually.
Is it Texas Chainsaw Massacre deathmatch, or is it just the deathmatch being sponsored by Texas Chainsaw Massacre? Because when I looked at the thing, it looked like it was just a deathmatch.
They've had a couple of things been sponsored by. Definitely not as bad as when Subway used to sponsor WWE, and they used to make whole segments about it.
Not if you're in Region A, Jimmy. It will play all 4Ks that are not region locked, but some are now.
Yeah, 4K should never be region locked. What's the thing behind 4K was going to be your first unregion locked format. So anytime somebody regions locks to 4K, that's a crappy thing to do. Game wise, you can buy a game anywhere in the world and not play.
Yeah.
So you could go I'm in Morocco right now, so I can go out and buy a PlayStation 5 here, and I can order a game, and I go to Canada, and I can buy a PlayStation 5 there, and come back and put it on that system, and you'll play just like normal. The only thing you have to be careful with, and this is a big thing. So, downloadable content. Not every country is the same when it comes to downloadable content.
Normally with Japanese games, popularly, Japanese games get thousands and thousands of DLC, but we never get. Unless it's a big game like Tekken, then they'll have the season passes for that because they know people are obsessed with the fighters when different clothes. But if it's something like a JRPG, most of the time it's just Japan.
Well, my sister-in-law was playing one of those JRPG type games, and she was playing here in Morocco. So she bought it here, but the downloadable content was North American exclusive.
Yeah,
so she couldn't order it.
That's sad, huh?
So you've got to have I have a Canadian account, so I can. It's not a problem for me.
since we're talking about games, I might as well tell you what games I picked up today.
Oh, you picked up games. Let us see them.
I picked up games. My wife said to me, "You need to get back into gaming, right? You need to get off your butt. Since you're not going for a walk today because you're sick, you need a game." With my stack of 30 games there, she said, "Nah, go and buy some digital ones in the sale." So I was like, yes.
Okay. What'd you pick
The
up?
first one I did, I played a game called Sister, which I platinum because it was a 2-minute game. Right. All you had to do was jump and catch balloons. That's all you had to do. That wasn't a good start. Then I picked up Sherlock Holmes Chapter 1.
That's actually good. I like that.
Have you played it?
Yeah, I haven't finished it. My kids have played them all.
Cool. Well, I got the DLC for them as well because that was on sale. I picked up that True to Yuma, which is the Japanese samurai-looking one in black and white.
That is real. That I have played. That is really good.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to playing that. I almost bought it the other day for 30 quid. And then I saw it on the sale for like 8. So I was like, I'll get that there. I picked up Zorro, Tad the Adventurer, and that was it.
Not bad. I mean,
Tell me, go, why Tad the Adventurer? Because I'm a big fan of the movies. That's why.
for me, gaming wise, what I did today is I went to a store. I Googled the PlayStation 5. I looked at the accessories.
You did more than Google it, didn't you? Let's be honest. You were being a voyeur and you got inside the box and hindered to get security to get you out again.
It was, I looked at the system. So like they had like the digital version, which I'm sorry, no.
Never was digital.
And they had like the Modern Warfare 2 and they had the God of War Ragnarok editions there. And there was a more expensive edition that had like, I think God of War Ragnarok and a physical copy of Spider-Man Miles Morales with it. But I was like,
why don't you wait and get the really cool Spider-Man 2 console?
because what's going to happen is they're going to put it on a slim. And I can honestly tell you now that I don't like any of the slim type. I had a slim PlayStation 3, I had a slim like PS2. Not a fan.
They're all rough. They're all rubbish.
I am so nervous that by the time I go to get a PlayStation 5, that they're going to have them recalled and have the new editions out. And I do not want that. Like when I first got my PlayStation 3, it was right after they had like recalled the backwards compatible one. That it was.
Oh, that sucks.
So peeved. I was so peeved. But at the time, I didn't have the money for it. And then the week after, I got like a massive tax check come in. So
I have bad luck. with PS3s. I got my first PS3, which was backward compatible, and it broke.
Oh, really?
Got another one, which was a slim line, and a friend of mine smashed it. Right. Then I moved to America. I get a PS3. We get burgled. It gets stolen. Right. The fourth PS3 blew up. The fifth one.
So rough. I mean, slim lines were so cheap. Like they were so cheaply made.
Yeah.
Did you remember like where they basically the real like kind of cheap ones where you like, basically just slide over?
I hate that.
That was horrible. Sony is not great with revisions.
I'll be honest though, as much as I hate them, I prefer when you're not sliding it in because I always worry about the disc getting stuck. You know, the only thing I want to be sliding in is something personal, but not in a machine.
I was going to say, that's going to be kind of hard, man.
Oh, tell me about it. Tell me about it, Matt. Tell me about it.
There's an Anvil movie we have now. The Anvil PlayStation. Or I guess they haven't called the Anvil.
What about, have you seen, since you've seen some of the movies, have you seen Amityville Vibrator?
No.
I would have thought you might.
No, I totally like missed it on purpose. Like there's a lot of them, like Anvil Karen. No, I'm good.
Amityville Karen doesn't need to be watched. That's not a movie. They should play Amityville Karen, all right, in for tests on mental health. That's what I say.
Well, no, I mean, like if you were to say, so when did you get your When did you go do the PS5? Like How long ago?
PS5, I got it in September.
All right. So, did you play? What were you before? Were you always a Sony person? Were you Xbox? Were you?
I was both. I always got a PS4. Basically, okay, with the Xbox 360, I got that first.
Yeah.
Because the PS3 came out later. But I did have a PlayStation 1, a PlayStation 2, an Xbox, and a GameCube. And then I had the Xbox 360, the PS3, and the Wii. I skipped the Wii U. I just never had any interest. But I had the PS4 and the Xbox One. All right. Now I've just got a PlayStation 5, and I doubt I'll buy an Xbox because I only was playing it really for the exclusives, and there wasn't that many on the Xbox One. I mean, there was, but not enough to buy it day one.
They still have the better subscription service. The Game Pass is far superior to PlayStation Plus system. Yeah. But PlayStation has better games that are going to stick with you. So, like, I don't think there's any, like, I love, like, I guess Zelda's probably the closest on Nintendo. I love Nintendo. And I love the Zelda games stuff. So those are good games. But I don't think in the last, 10 or 15 years, like, there's going to be games that are going to stick with me and give me the experience that Sony did with Uncharted, with The Last of Us, with Horizon Forbidden West, and games like that, or Horizon Zero Dawn, the first one. There were story-driven games, but they had good mechanics to them. Yeah. And I remember first time I played Uncharted, first one. So I'm playing and I'm doing a marathon game session, Malcolm. So it's like at this point, like me and my daughter are up. It's like 3 a.m. in the morning. I'm pretty exhausted, but I've been playing for over 24 hours. Yeah. And I get to the part where they're in the cave. You played Uncharted, right?
Yeah, I played it. I played it 12 times, all of them.
So you get to the part, like, it's a normal
Wife loves them.
Indiana Jones adventure game. You're feeling fantastic. You get to the cave, and all of a sudden, there's these big freaking zombie creatures coming up.
Yes,
it's like
I know you're talking about I can't say the word because you'll get demonetized, but what do you call it, zombies? Yeah,
but because you don't expect it, and it's just
the way they run across the floor and everything,
and you have to understand. I've been playing for 24 hours. It's like 3 o'clock in the morning. I jump back. I get a bit of a jump scare with it. One of my best gaming experiences. Game with the kids are always some of my best gaming experiences.
Yeah.
But and then I remember playing the Last of Us and that the gut punch that was, and the God of War games. Nobody can beat Sony when it comes to the story-driven games. No matter what system you like. And with the new PlayStation, from what I hear, because I don't have it, you'll know this better than me, the controller has finally gotten to a spot where we got a good controller for kind of serious game. Like the PlayStation controllers are good. Like, don't get me wrong, they're kind of small. Some people love that about them. But this one, the new haptic controller is got a bit more grip to it.
Well, it's as somebody who's got problems with their hands.
Yeah,
because that problems my hands a lot. Because I used to go non-stop years ago, and tapping and all this. I can say the PS5 controller is very comfortable, very accessible. I will say though, even though I was gaming earlier, I only gamed for an hour. As years ago, I'd game for 12. But it's called getting older, getting problems. So I mean, I remember when I used to game. I used to game with Alex a little bit years ago when he was younger, and he used to always say to me, "Oh, you're so good at this. Will I ever be as good as you?" And I go, "When you get older, you'll look at me and you'll see me getting worse while you get better."
That's what happens.
Don't worry, and that's what happens, and then, there it is. So it happens. It's the thing of life, isn't it? People get better, you get worse because of, age.
I totally found that as I'm playing Call of Duty and I'm playing Resurgence. And I'm playing, and I'm because I haven't played a Call of Duty game in a while, right? Since the space one, where it starts out in space, Can't remember which one that is. But
Isn't that
like,
Advanced Warfare?
I think so. Like starts in a satellite up in space, and then there's a thing up there, like, and then basically then it's down on Earth,
I think
and there's like
is
a
it?
kind of a earthquake going on, and you're moving. And
Oh, or is it? Or is that Ghost?
it might be Ghost. It's like it's been a while since I played them, but I'm playing like Call of Duty, like it's Resurgence, the online free one, which is the reason I'm kind of leaning towards Modern Warfare. To be honest with you, and I get there and I shoot a guy, and like it's my first shot in the game, and they're like, like basically torture, like torture the guy. Uh, I'm like, what? It's like, interrogate him. And I'm like, okay. So it's warfare. And so I end up like, so I take up my knife and I like stick it in the guy's like shoulder type thing. I'm like, I didn't know that was a Call of Duty thing. Oh, and the other thing, since when did Call of Duty have you jumping out of the plane all the time?
Yeah.
Like that's a Fortnite thing.
That was a. You're talking about the multiplayer, right?
Yeah, like
It's because it's like I said the other day, it's because they saw that was popular and they're like, oh well, this is a great way to just keep on going, which is a bit sad, really.
like I haven't played the last Battlefield game, but I used to be really, really into Battlefield because I love the fact that everything was destruct. You
What
destruct.
about Counter-Strike?
Counter-Strike, I played a bit. I mean, it was okay, but that was definitely more tactical. When you're doing it. When I was playing Battlefield, I wanted like because there's the guys like when you squad up with a bunch of guys. There's the guy that's like thinking 2 steps ahead, right? And he's like, oh, we should do this and we should do this and we should go here and like let's all zone it here. There's a guy that snipes, which is sometimes me, the time that I'll be, and there's also the me that's like, I just want to destroy absolutely everything that's in my path. And Battlefield was fantastic for that, especially the early ones. Not sure about the latest one, but the early ones were like just incredible. You just
I think the last one was awful, wasn't it? Wasn't the last one just online?
I didn't play it. That's probably why.
Because you can get for £5 over here on the PS5. No.
See, I like the story, like to mine. Like I like playing online. Like don't get me wrong, I love multiplayer. But I do want a story in my game. I don't want them to just give me an online thing.
Well, the thing is, you want the story mode. If you're just playing online normally, you want the story mode so you can chill out a bit if you want, if you get a bit stressed.
And get a bit better at it too, like when you're starting out.
Just incredible. As in the wrestling.
I totally lost the reference on that, man.
Yeah, same here.
But I did remember Just Incredible. He was one of the last ECW champions, wasn't he?
I think so. Yeah, one of the worst.
I thought it was okay. I mean, for what there's I can't. I'm going to do I want to do a Patreon video talking about ECW and wrestling, some other wrestling that I can't talk about on here. So because there's some stuff. There's some stuff. Oh, I said the words "just incredible." Did I? I probably did. Just Incredible was actually wasn't he part of like one of the worst things in WWE at the time?
Yeah,
like,
X Factor, wasn't it?
Yeah, they had a crappy song too. And I liked X-Pac when he first came back to WWF, and he was like, he was like X-Pac, and he was part of like one of the better parts of D-Generation X.
You really think?
I really think so. I mean, like, because they lost Shawn Michaels, and I think that I'll be honest, when they lost Shawn Michaels, is the best thing that happened to DX. Best thing that happened to him.
Take care, Warlock.
Fantastic day, there, Warlock. It was 100%. I mean, like, because they brought in the New Age Outlaws,
which are great,
fantastic, and brought in like X-Pac, who was one of the best sellers in the business. Too good of a seller, so good at selling other people's moves, and that it hindered his career. It really did.
Two great set up people's moves, so he couldn't say his own.
Electro broke his back. Well, yeah, I'm not gonna. Here's the thing. HBK did stuff after, just after HBK broke his back. There's an Australian promotion. The HBK kind of went over and did some stuff. That didn't last. It was a Australian promotion like they did a little bit with.
Yeah,
Much as
they
I'm
were my
gonna say-
Anubis. I like them. I thought when they were in D Generation X together with China, it was a lot better, a lot more exciting, a lot more fun, you know?
when Rick
The
Rude was
best
listening-
thing Shawn Michaels ever did was with the Canadian flag, because he gave him such hate, you know, with the Bret Hart fans and stuff. You know,
Sean lost his
I used to
smile.
love that. I used to love
Bill.
that. I used to love that. Bret Hart would be like, "Oh, you know, all this and that." That was great. What about Vanaki and that when they chopped off Albinus's PP?
Oh, God, that's bad.
I love that.
Here's the thing. That was a Canadian like wrestler, and he's yeah. The less I want to talk with that guy, the better. He's Sean lost his smile. Anytime something didn't go Shawn Michaels' way, he lost his smile, man.
I don't know why he lost his smile. He got with all the hot women back then.
And you know, then I'm like Sean was a bit of a dick at the time. Like he was going through issues, and he got family legend.
He was drug addict, wasn't he?
Oh,
If you watch the Mighty Jannetty Dark Side event, you find out in the Mighty Jannetty were tag teaming inside the hotel room.
Can't go too close to that, but yeah. That's not surprising. But it's
mental.
they
Absolutely
take a year
crazy.
off. Shoulder injury. Yeah. But any Miss Melusina, I can't really give any real. Since I'm anything up here, let me just check. I want to see if there's a recommendation I can give you, dude, that I can actually say on the live stream. So just give me a second.
What was the question?
Like a Melusine recommendation. Like,
Okay.
we got to be careful with that, unfortunately, because it is what it is. I can't get the damn thing here. Here we go. I would probably say look towards the Command Cinema stuff. So if it's available, I think it is because it's in pre-order. Like things like Foxtrot or Firestorm are some
Fire.
pretty definitely some pretty good recommendations. They were released previously, but they got new releases now. So I would recommend those. Favorite drama was
Edge later in the party, eh? The celebration. I think my favourite, take Edge out and add Kane in. That was my favourite.
No.
I actually believed, you know what? I loved that whole storyline. And then put Snitsky in there with the baby and the
was
kick.
horrible, man. Snitsky was horrible.
It's not my fault. I love it.
I loved, I was a big Hardy Boys fan, so I was a big Lita fan before pre-Hardy Boys. So Lita, when she came through the company initially, she was
what was his name? S.A. Rio, yeah, that was it.
Rios, yeah. So basically, she was S.A. Rios valet, and he started to treat her bad, and basically Matt Hardy kind of saved her from S.A. Rios was the storyline. But in actuality, they were in a relationship. So Matt Hardy got hurt for those who watch wrestling in real life, real life, legit hurt.
And instead of going home with him and looking after him, she got off with one of their best friends.
Yeah. That stuff happens when they're on the road.
There's a word for that, but I can't say on the stream.
I mean, no, it happens. I mean, at the end of the day, they got over it, but he got really upset, and he took to the internet in the early days, and he got fired. And he ended up coming back, and they made a storyline out of it. And it didn't work for him in WWE. He had to go to AEW. No, sorry, he had to go to TNA and do Broken Matt to really kind of get his.
He went to Ring of Honor for a bit, and for a few matches at first in that time.
Pretty much, guys. If you want to see where a lot of people in modern day got their craft at, post ECW, TNA and Ring of Honor, that's where you look, or Impact gets it's called now. But look for that stuff. You want to see Taya Valkyrie doing some stuff really good. You want to see when Scarlett Bordeaux was actually doing stuff. You want to see like intergender matches, which you don't show on WWE anymore, and you don't, and you rarely see. Impact Wrestling is incredible.
It was better when it was TNA.
I loved it when it was TNA, and I
Early
stopped watching it.
not mid TNA, early TNA.
It depends. I mean, like the Asylum years are good, but I went back, and I have to admit that I did look with a bit of a blinder. You know what I mean? It's rose-colored glasses, because when you look at stuff that they're doing, that they did like 2017, 2018, it's really good. It's really good.
Yeah.
Like when it was like Killer Cross, when it was Scarlett Bordeaux, when Sammy Callahan, damn, that guy's good.
You should watch his AAW runs as the champion.
Like he's good. Like he's so freaking good. And his run, and like, you know, I know she's not like exactly in vogue right now, but I'll say it. Tessa Blanchard was really good. She was really a good wrestler.
Oh, Matty, I love that. When he uses the thing when he goes, you know what Chelsea told me? She told me she tried the old guys. She tried the young guys are much better, much faster, and they're 60-minute men. Bear. I love that. Brilliant. And that was all improvised.
I think that was good with stuff like that.
Love it.
Generation Me, remember? Before they became like...
Yeah, I remember, yeah. Well, I think they were called the Young Bucks first, but they were called Generation Me when they went to TNA.
Yeah, so they keep their name.
Yeah.
Though at times, people would actually
weren't...
call them Young Bucks, like when during the announcing. I watched
Ring of Honor really helped them. Ring of Honor really helped the Young Bucks get thingy. Ring of Honor and New Japan.
Oh yeah, Ring of Honor definitely helped. New Japan, like Bullet Club. Like if you want to like think helped like Omega, helped like Cody Rhodes, helped all these. Bullet Club, man.
Yeah.
Bullet Club is like, you want the best, you know, the most influential. Like is it?
Well, it was. It's dead now, thankfully.
It's still around.
Yeah, but Bad Luck Foul is so unlucky because he's one. I think he's the only original member left of it.
Well, like AW is doing like a Bullet Club Gold thing, which started good because it was Switchblade Jay White and God, what's his name? The other guy. And who is Switchblade with in Bullet Club? In Bullet Club Gold, it's Switchblade Jay White and who else?
Juice Robinson.
Yeah, Juice Robinson. Thanks.
Okay.
And Juice Robinson, but then they put the guns in it.
Oh, sounds terrible.
Not a massive fan of the guns.
Hey, I've seen you. Malcolm introduced me to the Micro Wrestling Federation. It's a great federation indeed. I actually like that wrestling federation, actually, the MWF, because you get some real talent. You know, that's where people like Hornswoggle and that were from.
Got to start out?
Yeah.
I haven't seen. I haven't seen it.
Well,
that's one that I was unaware of. This is good talent. I was like, see, here's the thing. I was a big WCW fan. And then WCW started to go downhill. And then, you know, I bought my own competition. Happened. And I was like, oh, wow, this is going to be fantastic. Like Vince will do WCW. Maybe SmackDown will become WCW. Which, come to think of it, that's probably what they should have done. Then the invasion happened. And everybody knows that the invasion was obviously the best storyline ever. And it totally helped everybody out. And because of that, WCW is such a main force, and they gave themselves a good competition.
I'll be honest. The invasion storyline, I really liked it when it started originally.
Yeah, like when it started, like anybody.
I'd say the middle to the end was when they really started messing it and just
because it became a WWE thing. It was only that like anybody that wasn't WWE, like you could forget it. Like the best part of the invasion storyline is the introduction of the alliance. Because you get the WWE guys are in there, the WCW guys are in there, then there's more guys come in, and you think, okay, they're coming in to help WWE. They're coming in to help them against the alliance. You suddenly realize, wait a second, every single one of these guys are ECW.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden, they just turn on WWE, and we get like Paul Heyman coming.
I still remember that promo where
Yep.
Vince goes into the bar and he goes, "I need the old Stone Cold," you know. And he's like, "I can't do it, Vince." And then you see him coming and he's like this and that, you know.
Yeah. WCW going on was definitely one of the worst things that ever happened. I think WCW would have lasted, because even after the bad stuff that they did, if it was not for the merger killed WCW.
I actually think, I'll be honest with you, I actually think the wrestling societies could have been serious competition for WWE.
Which one?
Wrestling Society X.
You're joking, right? A TNA could have been, if done right. Seriously, I haven't 100% been competition. What would have been great is not have Bischoff and Hogan there, and not put it on Monday night. But for the longest time, when TNA was at their best, they were better.
I'll
They
be
were
honest.
more interesting to watch.
I'll be honest with TNA, right?
6 sides of steel. Now.
TNA, phenomenal, right? AJ Styles right there. Samoa Joe, you can't go wrong. Christopher Daniels, you can't go wrong. They had a fantastic roster. They had a better roster, if you ask me. Then, yeah, exactly, right? They had a better roster than what WWE was going on when it came to, like, newer talent, right?
Yeah.
But what did they do? They do what everybody does. They go, we need the old codgers in to get the ratings up, and that's what ruined it. Getting people like Kevin Nash in now, but then as a guest, getting people like Scott Hall, people like Sean Waltman, aka X-Pac, it just ruined it because that's what happens, you know. Focus on your main stuff. Let Jeff Jarrett, you know, get people over there, you know. And that's the problem for me because TNA was brilliant, right? TNA was like this phenomenal thing I was watching. I was seeing things on there I'd never seen before. I was loving it. And then they go, "Oh, look, it's Kevin Nash." And I was like, yay, because I remembered him as Diesel. I remember it's Kevin Nash in WCW. But then what happens? He tears the quad, he's on the floor, crying like a girl. And, you know, then you've got Scott Hall coming out like this, going, "Ooh, who's the bad guy?" And then he's collapsing over because he's drunk.
Hey,
and then you got, yeah, exactly. That's all he'd ever say, you know, and he's on the floor. And then you've got people, you know, it just annoyed me.
I'm going to say something. There's a hot take for you, man. This is a really hot take, especially when talking wrestling. You may disagree, but I'm going to say it. Vince Russo is not the worst thing to happen to WCW or TNA, especially TNA. Vince Russo.
No, David Arquette is.
Happened to that show.
David Arquette's the one that happens to WCW.
No, here's the thing too. Like with TNA, you know, a lot of people hate on Russo, but I'll tell you one thing right now. He wanted to book the young people. That's what he wanted to do. He wanted to go with like he has some weird ass storylines and stuff, but he still wanted to focus on when he brought in the SEX. You know, remember that like thing?
Yeah,
and that was one of the first times AJ Styles got the focus. Like he was the person to put the focus on AJ Styles. He tried to put the focus on the guys in WCW, but Hogan's like, "Yeah, we're going to do Millionaires Club, but being the bad guy doesn't work for me, brother. So we're going to do Millionaires Club. They're going to be the good guys." Are you serious? Are you serious?
One of the things I did like about WCW near the end was the Kiss-looking guy. I can't even remember what his name was.
The Demon.
The Demon. There we go. I didn't like him. I didn't like Vampiro either in that. I like Vampiro himself. I just didn't like him in WCW.
The Brothers in Blood.
Yeah, just awful.
It didn't work. It should have worked. On paper, it works, but the execution didn't work. But
poor Sting. He was there to the very end.
Dale Turbo. That's what
it was nice. But yeah, like it was nice. The last Nitro match with Sting was against Ric Flair.
Yeah, the very last match.
That was nice.
But the thing is, Sting is such a good wrestler. I mean, he was so loyal, and it broke my heart. It really did when he went to WWF, because the second that was announced, I know what's going to happen here. I hate this. They're gonna bury him, and nothing's going to happen with him. And it did. That's exactly what happened. So when he got to go to another company to finish off his career, like AEW, I'm like, thank God. Like, let him go out on a high note. Let's not do what happened with Ric Flair.
Ric Flair went out on a high note. Ric Flair
well, let's not. No. There's no last Ric Flair match. We're not going to talk about that.
Well, I was going to say the last match he did with Shawn Michaels.
Yeah, but like Ric Flair is one of the rarities when it comes to that. John Morrison had so many ring names, man.
I'm going to go with 16. I reckon he had, because it was always Johnny Nitro and Johnny,
Johnny Impact, Johnny Nitro, Johnny Wrestling, Johnny
yeah. Rory's Johnny or something. It was, yeah. Because he was in Lucha Underground.
Yeah, he was in Lucha Underground. I love Lucha Underground, actually. That was a crazy
That
show.
was great until all the controversy started.
Yeah.
Yeah,
no, I mean, like, I love the Six Sides of Steel. I love Six Sides rings. I thought that was fantastic in TNA. But like, look at some of the new guys. Well, the newer guys that were great in TNA, and hope to God they get something like really good in WWE. Because do you remember Eli Drake?
Yeah.
So he's in like WWE now.
You're talking about what's his name? LA Knight, right?
Yeah, he's called LA Knight now. So he's fantastic.
Yeah,
exactly. He's fantastic in Impact. It was great. It was him, and it was like, who's this guy? Was his partner? That he fought against a lot.
Well, I know his partner on one event. I saw the other day with Scott Steiner. That's obviously not what you're talking about.
No, like, because one of the other guys, like, kind of like him. If anybody knows, let me. Anybody remembers, let me know, because I can't remember it now. But it was a guy that he worked a lot of matches with. But so I see him, and I'm like, I'm hoping to do stuff with him, but at the same time, Dominic Mysterio.
You like Dominic Mysterio, do you?
No, he can't wrestle. You can't. I mean,
people say he's got the best height.
He does, because of Rhea Ripley, and because of the fact that he can't wrestle. Here's a guy that shouldn't have been, but he's got fantastic heat, and because of that, he'll get pushed to the top, which is okay, which is wonderful. But there's two types of heat. There's genuine heat that wrestlers get, and there's what we like to call X-Pac heat. And X-Pac heat is when they boo you because they don't like you and they want you off their screen.
Yeah.
And regular heat is when they boo you because they hate you and want to see you get your ass kicked. Luckily, right now, the type of heat that he has is they boo you because they see you and they don't want you to get your ass kicked. His character, fantastic. Unfortunately, he's got to go in the ring at some point and wrestle. Yeah. And he still hasn't got to that. Hopefully, maybe he'll get to that point. But right now, he's not at that point.
Well, it's interesting you say that, Gino, because look what they did with Harley Race and Dusty Rhodes, for example, with the spots, where they made him look like Mr. Blobby, all right, but with black instead. And Harley Race, they made him come out looking like a silly king character, and
Oh, LA Knight's the real deal, man. I just watched the Impact stuff. Is Eli Drake. It's actually fantastic. The thing that sadly happens is, and it's not this. I feel like I'm knocking WWE, but I'm not trying to. But WWE has a wrestling style, and it's very much like the standard style. So anytime you'll see people in other companies, especially like kind of like people that do what we call flippy moves, like Lucha does any of that type of stuff, they're very much slowed down. And not everybody works in WWE when they get there in the same way, because they got to slow down.
Look at Sin Cara.
Yes. Oh, God. They got to slow down the work. Oh, hold on a second. Wait. Stay here.
Oh, are we going to get to see it? My view of LA Knight is he's great on the mic. I think he's got a future. It's been more than a medium card draw. If they follow the thing, you got to remember, the WWE do not always follow the trend of the excitement people get. Like, people might be right behind the wrestler, and they don't pull the trigger when they should, really. Especially on guys that they've not given a chance to, because it gives them a possible future star. With Lucha Underground, all I know is that there was a lot of problems backstage and a lot of things going on with that, and that's why it ended. I think there was a lot of politics. You know? Oh. Oh, no. We've got Sin Cara in the house.
I got the Sin Cara mask. About it in Montreal.
Yeah.
Also got, I can't remember the character's name now. But it's a very Banish looking mask, so I kind of dug it. And there's a cheap one, but it's a Kane mask for a certain era.
Oh, I like that one. That was good.
Those will come into, those will actually have their little own video things eventually. Like it's the same as the Orphan Killer mask does.
That kind of, that mask looks more like the Undertaker's one in 1993.
You mean when he had the orbital like break?
Yeah. It looks more like that.
Except it was kind of a wider. But yeah, no, I had to bring those down because I'm going to be shooting some footage with them. But yeah, I'd say look at 2017, 2018 Impact. I was never big on Moose, though. Never really got into Moose. Remember Romantic Time? No.
You sure about that?
I'm 100% positive on that one. But now, no, you know. Yeah, just like, well,
you could be like, you could be like,
Family Guy.
you could be like, today I'd be Sin Cara. You, my love, you can be Kane.
Do you remember when Kane unmasked for the first time?
Yeah, I do remember. What a
disappointing piece of TV that was.
I loved it from the standpoint of being a teenager and enjoying it. But when you look back on it, it just looks silly because they said he was horrifically scarred and all this, and then he wasn't.
No, it was like, oh my God, look at him. Does he have like dirt or something on his face?
Yeah, I mean, at least he looked crazy. You know what I mean? At least he had that kind of look. Because if it had been just some like handsome tall guy under there, there'd been problems.
I still didn't look like. I mean, it was bad. I'm like when it's just had like basically makeup over his eyes. And
I remember him grabbing hold of Rob Van Dam, just slamming him on the floor afterwards.
I remember all of it. You know what I thought? You know what my actual thought was the first time I saw it? Look, Clint Howard looks totally jacked. That's what I thought.
Yeah. Oh, really?
He had the Clint Howard hair, and I like.
Dove says, I put on my stormtrooper helmet and become another person between the sheets. He likes shooting the
stormtrooper helmet, so he misses every time he shoots. Just, dude, yeah, you literally walked into that. Just so you know. We already seen his face as Isaac Yankem. Yeah, the Jerry Lawler's dentist. One of the worst times in wrestling was that when they were doing like the Goon and Isaac Yankem and all that type of stuff. It was horrible. It was everybody had to have like a character. Like,
do you remember Undertaker versus Undertaker?
Underfaker.
Yeah.
Yeah. I thought it was going to go way better than it did, and that ended so quick. I remember, what was it? He had Leslie Nielsen on the show, like looking for Undertaker. Remember?
Yeah, I remember.
In some of the most unfinished.
SummerSlam, was it SummerSlam '94, right?
It was bad. 94 was not a good time for WWE. 95 was horrible. But yeah, no, it was like he played a different character too. Like pretty sure like Glenn Jacobs was just got by Kane.
He was fake Diesel, wasn't he, as well?
Yeah, he was fake Diesel. And I think Ray Boggs was like fake.
Yeah, he was.
Yeah. So, but that was horrible. And they tried to make like JR into a bad guy.
Oh, I love the Survivor Series where he's going against Doink, and they've got they've got like smaller versions of themselves.
Which dunk was it at that point?
What's that?
Which dunk was it at that point? Was it Matt Bourne or was it somebody else playing it by then?
I think it was him.
Because Bourne was good as dunk. Bourne was scary as dunk.
Yeah.
Like for those who don't know,
Was.
Dunk was an evil clown character, kind of like a Pennywise type character for WWE. And we
It
started.
was very Joker-like, and it was very
Yeah.
Joker slashed with Pennywise the way it would be.
But then they made him a kid-friendly character, and they gave him a little sidekick, and Dink, I think was the name, right?
Yeah, Doink. Dink. There was Doink, Dink, Dunk. In the thing, it was brilliant.
It started Brian. It ended like bad. Like it ended really bad. Oh, but no, it was a bad period. That's when you were watching WCW because you watch Glow, you get better wrestling at that point. And Glow was Glow is what Glow is. If you've never seen Glow,
Did you watch the documentary?
Oh, the documentary's fantastic, utterly fantastic.
Heartbreaking as well at points.
It was. Oh, you're friends with Rick? Really? It what a sad place to be in. Like it changed his life after wrestling.
Oh wow! Small
Actually,
world, Jay. No.
But Bogner deserved better than fake Razor Ramon. He really did. Get stuck into it drives me when you get like Shane Douglas deserved tons better than freaking Dean Douglas in the W.
Yeah.
What the hell?
Yeah, it was a bit silly.
It made no sense, but it made sense when you realize, Shawn Michaels didn't like him at the time. So, he can win, but he can only win if he's going to lose it to Razor Ramon right away.
Yeah.
So many people there's guys like Dark Side of Wrestling is pretty freaking dark sometimes. Just
It's
saying.
very
We used
dark.
to sit down and watch like Marty Jannetty, and I said, well, Marty Jannetty
That
still.
the Chris Benoit episode. Oh,
Brutal. But I was watching it. Me and my dad were at a bar, and we were waiting because I was a big fan of Benoit. Like, was my favorite wrestlers, and
it's Canadian, so you would be, wouldn't you?
well, he's one of the best. Like, here's the thing. One of the best exploits that comes out of Canada. Comedians. We a lot of really good comedians, wrestlers, a lot of fantastic wrestlers come out of Canada. Like when you look at
Rebel Wilson's not from Canada.
which one?
Rebel Wilson's not from Canada. Ricky Gervais isn't from Canada. Stuart Merchant's not from Canada. Stephen Fry's not from Canada. Hugh Laurie's not. They're mostly from England, except for Rebel Wilson. So the best comedians come from England.
Good comedians come from England. Not always the best.
Oh,
Shot fired.
oh.
But I grew up on SCTV, which revolutionized that format.
Yeah.
But no, I love English comedy. You know that.
I think, to be honest with you, I think the best comedians I've seen have come from the UK. I'll say UK because that's the whole thing. Australia and Canada.
Yeah, hands down. Like I would totally agree. And I think I'm not like there's some, that's definitely the best. Anyway, so we're at the wrestling, watching the show on the big screen, and we got like the pitcher beer, we got our nachos and stuff. And they're like, Chris Benoit can't be here tonight. So I think it was like either CM Punk or Jim Morrison, one of those guys comes in to take his place.
Yeah.
And I look at my dad at the time. And I'm like, something's wrong, man. And he's like, maybe. I said, no, this is Benoit. Benoit doesn't not show. It's like, it's not a Benoit thing. So the next night, like, find out the Benoit's passed away. And they do a tribute show. There's a 2-hour tribute show to Benoit. Like they talk about what a great
which
guy
has never been shown again. But yeah.
Talk about what a great guy is, what a family man he is, all this stuff. And then it comes out, which we won't get into. But unfortunately, Benoit's life was very, very tragic, and he did a horrible thing, and that I can't I can't forget, because I think somebody said it. And I agree with that, is that Benoit had a choice with what he did. His
It's not that simple, though, is it? He had CT.
yeah, but his family did. His
No, what I'm
his
saying is,
like
when you've got CT, as I've known someone who has CT,
yeah.
their whole personality can change, their actions change, they don't think
Well,
clearly,
they said
and they do really crazy stuff sometimes. It's like being high on drugs and not remembering stuff. It's not that simple. I agree 100% with his family. Don't get me wrong, I do. But what I'm saying is, when it comes to him as a person, it's not all on him. It's on the condition he had as well. Because I don't think he would have gone out of his way and done what he did.
no, of course.
I
Like,
think
I don't think
you got to think. Not only did he have CT, but he was also taking steroids because he was putting steroids in his kid as well, right? These things are not normal, right?
what I feel bad
So,
for is his son. His son
of
that's
course,
trying to wrestle now.
yeah, because he looks identical to him.
He does, and he's trying to, and he wants to, like, there was a legacy before all this happened, and for his son, that's still his dad. He wants to live up to that before legacy, but it's the after thing that everybody like is going to remember. It's the stuff like
Yeah,
I was a huge fan of Woman, right? The character, like it was his wife, the character she played
yeah.
was Woman, um, which I know you know, but I know some people here don't watch wrestling. Um,
Exactly. A lot of people believe that Eddie Guerrero was helping him in check. But they were both helping each other because they had such a close relationship. But when Eddie passed away, as we saw in Dark Side of the Ring, it drew him over the edge as well. He was getting really thingy. But what I'm saying is, when you've got all these things and you've got CT and you're taking steroids and you've got grieving, and you've got a semi-volatile relationship with your wife, as was stated, right? It can come out the wrong way.
I mean, what was one of my favorite wrestlers, but I completely understand. Like, if they say, well, why don't they show it? Like, I would tell you this much right now. I've gone back since and watched earlier matches, right? And
Yeah.
we're going through the what's it called? The Elimination Chambers. And we get to the one with Benoit. And I couldn't do it. I couldn't. This was a match that I really enjoyed before, but I couldn't do it. And I was like, it's not going to bother me. I can separate one from the other, but I just couldn't, because at the end of the day, this was something that happened over like a day long 2-day period. And I know that there was like issues, and that at the time they said his brain was like that of a 9-year-old Alzheimer's patient, which is a quote from after they checked out his thing. But still, it's just I couldn't separate. And I can never watch his matches, and I wish I could, but because he was just such an amazing wrestler. And he did stuff with some wrestlers that I really love too. Like I'm a massive Eddie Guerrero fan, and there's Eddie Guerrero matches that I can't, like. I'm just like I just can't watch it. I can't do it. And I thought, okay, no, it's there's times past, whatever. But no, I mean, I get there and I get so depressed when I start to watch it. It scares the life out of me.
Yeah.
But I get completely what you're saying. I totally agree. It's just not something that I could get past. Like,
I just think some things, they're not black and white, are they? There's grey areas. There's what's wrong, and then there's what could happen between it, caused it more. But there was a lot of things saying that his wife should have left him because he was abusive. A little
that's
bit.
easier said than done. I gotta,
But
we know, like, that's
can't
not
sleep
the case. Like that. But like that's it's because I most of the time that's not what happens, unfortunately. And but I think more than anything, like, get away from the dark topic. That yeah. So hopefully your wrestlers turn out to live at least a decent life and don't turn into like don't have their last days be like corporate days.
Hmm.
Because there's so many good wrestlers out there that I do like. And I may not think they're the greatest people, but I do like them like as wrestlers.
Yeah.
I like Chris Jericho a lot as a wrestler. I think he's a fantastic wrestler. I'm not sure if like we'd align on other things, but
Yeah.
as a wrestler, he's great. Like he reinvents himself like so well. But I do think that his latest stuff has like dragged other people down.
Yeah.
That his Daniel Garcia thing was completely like wrecked Daniel Garcia for a while, to the point where he got him likes it, but I'm not a huge fan. Dancing Daniel Garcia.
Yeah.
And Daniel Garcia is like this massively incredible wrestler. He could be the next like Daniel Bryanson if he wants to be.
Hi, Alan.
Hey, welcome, man.
Panera bread, lovely.
Raw
Get me
is
some
Jericho.
free
One of the
Panera bread.
best debuts of all time is Jericho's debut on Raw, the Millennium Club.
It was great.
Remember that? And great song, Break the Wall Down. Love that. Comes out to the Rock. And you can see the guy is a real talker. He can really talk. And if you've been watching WCW, you knew it anyway. Yeah, we're at the bar when Owen Hart died too. That
Did you say
was
that?
one where I'll say right now. Yeah, that should have ended, Dad. That should have ended that night right there. That show should have ended. Send people home.
Well, he fell through the ring, didn't he?
Yes, here's the thing, Malcolm. Like we didn't get to see it because it was obviously because it was basically, but everybody live watching that match in person had just watched a guy
And it's
die
still
in the ring.
cheered on the rest of the event. How sick is that?
And then his best friend, Jeff Jarrett, had to go out right after that. By the way, as they're carting his friend out, that's dead. He doesn't know he's dead, but he looks, it's not good. They got to wipe the blood off the ring and go out and wrestle the rest of this show. It should never have happened. And when people were upset when Martha Hart sued. They're lucky. They are so lucky that they're still around after something like that. Yeah, that's the thing. And then Vince decides when Owen Hart's funeral, they weren't supposed to come. They weren't allowed to come. They weren't invited. Vince brings a camera to Owen Hart's funeral and gets some of the wrestlers.
Oh, nice. He wanted to show it off to help people get past it.
Yeah, that's totally what he wants. Vince McMahon's a dickhead. I'm not a fan of Vince McMahon. But I am a fan of the Ayatollah of rock and roll. Me and Dad used to, at that point, we were going to the bar every month to watch the wrestling events. And back then it was like a big time for wrestling. I remember once what happened on Sunday nights. And so me and Dad would go to the flea market. We sold movies then.
Yeah.
And so we'd finish at the flea market. Most of the time we'd come back to Dad's place, have supper, and sit down for maybe 5 or 2 minutes, get ready to go to the bar, get our drinks, get our food.
Yeah.
It was a great time. I miss it, Dad. I miss that a lot, actually. Yeah, I want to punch Vince McMahon right now. I know he's old, but I still want to punch him.
Well, with that moustache, it'd be very easy to.
God, isn't that the worst? What the hell is he thinking?
Yeah, that was awful.
I know he got really bad, face, whatever the fuck that stuff they put in your face is. That looks horrible. Just going down the physical media. They said Warner Brothers.
Wow.
Oh man, I did not know that. Trekpedia, thank you. I wouldn't be surprised if you follow Heath from Serial at Midnight, which I do recommend you do, by the way. He's always keeping up to date. Botox, thank you, Track. That's what I meant. Yeah, he did. Heath's always keeping with stuff like that, and yeah, it's he wants to do homage to Walt Disney.
Awful looking, absolutely awful.
It looks like I don't know what it looks like. I mean, I first I thought is he trying to pull off the Timothy Dalton mustache? But it reminds me of Tommy Cooper. I died on live from Her Majesty's TV. Someone was in the wings watching, and millions saw it on TV and in the theater. Oh wow!
Yeah, I remember when Toy Cooper died. I remember watching the video of it, and such a horrible. You know, the fact that he was there dying, and everybody was watching, and some people were laughing, thinking it was all a joke. You know.
Like, it's when people talk about wrestling and they talk about, like, it's not, oh, this is all fake, it's not real. And then you think about, like, you've been following it for a while, and you see how many people, like, their lives have been shortened, that have died tragically, died in the ring, had stuff, Eddie Guerrero, his hotel room. You're thinking, like, what they put themselves through, what they put their bodies through. Like, yes, the wrestling portion of it, when they're hitting or punching or coming down each other, if they're really doing that, they'd be dead, right? like one match would be what could end you. Like, there's a whole skill to it looking real. But that being said, you're to make that real, to make it look real, when you're suplexing somebody off the top rope, when you're jumping out, you're still jumping. You're still taking somebody's body and hopefully keeping it safe. And when you do so, like, hurting yourself, it's not easy to take those falls. It's not easy to run those ropes, because they are not, those are steel cables, man.
It's got to be painful.
Painful as heck. And I'm glad it's something that I never ever, like, one, I wouldn't be big enough to get into it. So there's that already. But one thing that I'm kind of glad I didn't kind of get into. Colonel Bruce Hampton, highly influential guitar player, had a heart attack and died on stage during his own birthday tribute show. Holy crap! We're getting dark here today, guys.
Yeah, dark.
We gotta get happier. So,
dark side of the cult of cinema.
Dark side. There you go. That's what I was thinking, actually. It's when things get really intense. It's because of the Worm movie. We're all like,
I like that. Did you see the Warner Bros. Parody T-shirts called Warner Brother?
No, I did not. That's actually good, though. I'm nervous about certain things. Like, I'm glad we're getting more of the niche releases that we're getting. Like, physical media collecting isn't going anywhere. It's just becoming more of a niche thing. The way records and stuff.
I think eventually it'll be just boutique labels.
It'll be boutique labels for a while, and we're going to see, because every streaming service isn't going to make it, and they're going to need sources of revenue eventually. Streaming services, companies going to streaming services thinking, oh, it's fantastic, we're going to be Netflix. People don't realize other companies don't realize how long it took Netflix to become Netflix and to get to the point where they were Netflix. It
took them years and years and years.
Yeah, they're in the red for the longest time, and at this point, they're still losing money, because that's why they come with the password breakdown. And that's why they got to keep up in the price, and it's happening to Disney right now. Disney Plus. Well, we're going to take stuff off physical media. We're not going to put physical media in Australia anymore. And because they're hoping to push, like, more people buy Disney Plus, more people get Disney Plus. Do they realize how many subscriptions Disney Plus that they're going to have to sell to make up for that hole in the money that they were making physical media? Because I don't think they do, and I don't think that they're thinking ahead, because that's a market, and
especially the big budgets.
Yeah, that's the thing. Even the market is less, it's still a hole of, like, revenue that you should still have that you don't have anymore.
Yeah. I'll be right back. I'm going to get some more water.
All right, I understand that one, man. People saying CW was super successful, but it got taken over by a bunch of people that would rather put on reality shows and old people shows. And I don't mean like old people like me, but old people that are like really old people shows, like a bunch of like reality crap that that's not the greatest. That's where the CW is going. Like right now, that's what they want to do with that. That's why we got to see things like what the Flash had kind of came to its end. Legends of Tomorrow could have lasted definitely a bit longer. It was actually getting better as it went along. And I really do think it's going to be a controversial opinion that Batwoman should last longer. because I think she was just getting like because he brought in a new girl, and I think she was just kind of really getting into that like into the feel of the character. Obviously, Supergirl couldn't because Melissa Benoist left. But there was, they could have brought in like Constantine, which would have been fantastic. Because Constantine had the one season already, and they brought Constantine onto Legends of Tomorrow. Constantine would have been an amazing series. Swamp Thing, unfortunately, was another series, not CW series, but series that could have easily been ported over there. We're just lucky that like Flash and Arrow got the end. Like Arrow, I think was a bit iffy near the end, but that's the thing. We're lucky we got what I guess a natural ending. Like same with Smallville. Lucky we had a natural ending for Smallville. 10 years, fantastic. But right now it's like CW's. There's a whole bunch of shows that were going to come on there. Like it's initially there was UPN and there was the Warner Brothers network, and Warner Brothers had Buffy, right? Huh? It's not there. Okay. So eventually, they each had their shows, right? So there was a Star Trek series that started out on UPN. I think it was UPN. So the UPN Action Pack, like so that's where Hercules came from. One was Buffy. Thank you. But eventually they merged and created CW. And when they did, then Buffy became part of the CW. But Angel, which was on another network now, suddenly they couldn't cross over anymore. I'm actually gonna do a video on that in the future because I used to love that period. Were you a fan like during that like the WB? Were you old enough to remember that the WB UPN like networks?
What was on it?
Well, Buffy started for WB, but I mean like there was stuff like UPN had the Action Pack, which had like Hercules, Legendary Journeys, Xena, Warrior Princess. There was like
yeah, I was fan of that stuff because that wasn't over it. I mean, those media was, but UPN wasn't here.
Eventually, like they merged and became CW, right?
Yeah.
Buffy was in UPN until 2003. Then they jumped to WB to UPN because balked at the cost. It is a fascinating story to see because UPN and WB, like the heads of the companies at the time, hated each other.
Yeah.
So the fact that it happened was amazing. But there's so many shows. Like there was what's called, I'm not sure, Midnight Sun. There's like this martial arts series that lasted a little bit. You said these hour and a half long shows. One was like Smoking the Bandit. But the bandit was played by Brian Bloom, a young guy.
Yeah.
And actually Tracy Lords is one of those. I got them all here actually. Not that type of Tracy Lords, unfortunately.
Oh. Nice.
I wouldn't mind reading that. I love books on. I love books on like behind the scenes stuff. Console Wars is still one of my favorite books. The Sega Nintendo War. Oh. Dolly Parton's a secret producer of Buffy the Vampire Slayer. She was cool. But Dolly Parton is one of the coolest ladies, man. Like if you look,
I like that she reads. I like how she reads to kids. You know, at Dollyland.
I remember, like, rest in peace here, Robin Williams, with his like Dolly Parton, like his joke, like when Dolly Parton, like has a kid, like it's gonna be like oh my god, I reached the promised land. I think one of the things that ended up killing Buffy in the end was Joss Whedon himself.
I'll be honest with you. When it got to season 7, it was a joke anyway. I hated season 6.
Season 6, like, well, the musical episode's fantastic, but it's the only episode.
Oh yeah, but that's a good thing, isn't it?
Yeah.
Well, season 7
that doesn't want to be there. Like you got a character that had a perfect ending with season 5.
Yeah.
So the character comes back, and you get to see a character that's miserable, doesn't want to be on her own show. and Sway's come, and not only just like that's her character, she comes across as a totally miserable person on the show. She's horrible to watch.
Exactly.
Robin Williams stand-up is the best. Oh, that's a smoochie. Are you getting blue? I don't know now, man. Monster Vision. Oh man, I love Monster. Screw Kellner. Yeah, WCW, exactly. He's the one that like canceled WCW. See, WCW initially,
Yeah.
Eric Bischoff had got to trust the people together to buy WCW because they said, okay, we'll buy it, we'll take it off the air for a couple months, retool it, put it back in. But then, because of counter, WCW lost TV rights. So
Lovely.
when the TV rights were gone, the trust.
So there's no point supporting it anymore.
Yeah, that's what they basically told him. So they called Eric up. It's done. He's like, yes, it's done. They're like, no, it's done. It's over. It's not happening. And who bought it? Yep, Vincent Kennedy McMahon.
And then he started working for Vincent.
Yeah, the guy that he did a whole sketch about, like, hey, why don't you come over to WCW, have a fight? And what happens? Well, eventually he gets put into a garbage truck, and he's taking the show.
Brilliant.
Fantastic stuff, man.
He was a great general manager of the show. I enjoyed him on it.
Oh, he was fantastic. Oh, here's the thing. Like, I disagree with a lot of stuff that Eric Bischoff says now, but as a business person and as the character Bischoff back then, I was a huge Bischoff guy.
Yeah.
I like literally I patterned a lot of stuff early on of some of the Bischoff stuff. That's not going to lie about that. Money talks and BS walks for Bischoff. Yeah, and
it's funny because when you think about Eric Bischoff, Russo, and Paul Heyman, you think, wow, Paul Heyman is like this guy that's still going, like properly, and you can see you've still got a good like relationship and real, with the company.
Yeah.
And I think it's really good because all the people he supported have supported him back, wrestlers when they've been big. Like Brock Lesnar's like, I'm not coming back unless Paul Heyman's with me, stuff like that. So it's really nice. Like when CM Punk said he was a Paul Heyman guy back in when he went into ECW at WWE. And I think that's lovely.
Well, that's because when CM Punk came into WWE, by the way, he was hired based on WWE hearing stuff on the internet. And so when he gets there, CM Punk has to do, can you do a lot of this high flying stuff? Like, can you do be like a Rey Mysterio type of character? That's not what I do. That's not the type of wrestler that I am.
Yeah.
And he's like, they're like, you're not? He said, no. He said, but we kind of thought that's what you were. He said, did you watch my stuff? I said, well, we heard about you on the internet. So he's sent down to where Paul Heyman is at. And Paul Heyman's told, hey, we're bringing CM Punk down. Fire him. He's like, what? He's like, so yeah, we're bringing CM Punk down. We really got nothing we can do with him. Just fire him. And he's like, have you seen this guy's stuff? This is a guy you can build a promotion around. And when he was doing ECW, that's what he was going to do with ECW. Like, he was kind of really build it around CM Punk and bring but unfortunately, Vince McMahon had different ideas because all of a sudden Vince got the belt. There's zombies on the show. They're bringing in people that like don't belong there. Big Show gets the belt. Paulie Dangerous, the gigantic telephone. Remember?
Yeah, I'm an only child. Technically,
like secretly, you and Paul Heyman.
Technically, I'm an only child. I possibly had a brother and sister, but it turned out they weren't my dad. So, and that was with a different woman. So, so I'm the only child in my family. With my parents. I shouldn't say my family because that'd be a bit weird, wouldn't it?
Like nobody else is there. No mom.
Yeah, nobody else had a child there. I was the only one.
But no, I love Paul. I love Paul Heyman because he's smart. He his at the end of the day,
he can really control a crowd as well.
Yeah, Bischoff and all those other guys that did stuff. I'm gonna be honest, in a lot of cases, got really lucky with what they did and looked at other people's stuff and did their stuff. Paul Heyman listens. He listens. And that's the key. That's why people would watch and Paul. That's why people would do crap for Paul Heyman they wouldn't do anywhere else. That's why they would wait to get their paychecks and for like a month or so on an end. Because when you're wrestling for Paul Heyman and you wanted to do something, like when you're wrestling in another company, WWE or whatever, WCW, it's like, well, I got an idea. Well, that's great, but we got an idea for you. How about you puke? How about you puke in a bucket? That's your character. It's going to be called Puke. You're like, what's that got to do with? Well, this is what creative has for you. And with ECW, it's like, so what do you want to do? It's like, what do you mean? What do I want to do? Like, what do you want to say when you're out there? So when Steve came in, and Steve Austin, Steve, we're on like first name basis, right?
Absolutely crazy, Wade.
Yeah. And he's like, he said, like, what can I say when I get there? Anything. He's like, what do you mean? No, you go out there and you tell them how you feel. You say anything. You let it all out there.
Yeah.
Like, nobody has to do that.
No.
And even CM Punk, who got the pipe bomb, which was one of the big things in WWE, after a while, his mic gets cut. So like a current Hollywood system, the guilds are striking against. Yeah, it does, my man. Unfortunately, it does.
I'll be honest with you. I think that's one of the reasons why Roman Reigns said he wanted Paul Heyman.
Oh, for sure.
You know, because it's really added to the heat. You know,
as frustrated as I get with the Bloodline storyline, it's still always good. Can't see someone dead to Charmed reruns. Because these.
I reckon the person behind that was probably doing a Harvey Weinstein with him, and that's why.
Charm. Well, Aaron Spelling was behind Charm.
The Usos, Jay Uso, they say he left, but it is a storyline, isn't it?
It's a story. Yeah, like it's. I can't believe that people like believe it. Like good on people,
especially the way you did it. Especially the way you did it, it'd be like, yeah, okay,
yeah. And they put him in the like alumni section and everything, and I'm like,
yeah.
And people are like,
they've
no,
done that before.
Yeah, like he's totally gone. I'm like, are you serious? Like,
yeah.
Like, are you new to wrestling?
They reckon he's going to go against his brother at Payback.
Yeah.
You know, Rikishi says he wants to have a four-way where, you know, it's him, not him as in Rikishi, but Jay, Jimmy, and Roman. But it seems like it'd be totally falling apart then.
Rikishi's a referee. It came out. It leaked out by accident.
That'd be amazing, wouldn't it?
No, it did. No, it leaked out. Like said, like come see, like at a because Rikishi come to a wrestling event and said, come see Rikishi before he referees at Payback, and they pulled it like so quickly. It's like, oh no, no. But you know, Jimmy Jay with Rikishi as referee. That's what's happening.
Yeah. Alan says he thinks we should do a podcast together.
That's kind of what this is, sort of.
Yeah, well, that's what it kind of is, isn't it? In a way, when you think about it.
We talk about everything. We get on here and like, okay, it's television. Yeah. So we talk about television stuff.
We talk about television for like an hour, and then we go on to all these different other subjects.
Yeah. So that's the thing, guys. Like you make be looking at one of our videos. Say, oh man, I'm not sure if I'm going to be into that topic. Come in because your topic may be there. You just may not know it. Take him in. Exactly. Stink face to the loser.
You know what? I used to love watching the Stink Face. And I remember was it Kurt Angle? He said in an interview, he said you were fine. If Rikishi liked you, he cleaned up down there. We made it all nice and comfortable for you like a pillar. But if you didn't, he took a big dump in it and would rub it right. And he said it would be the most horriblest experience you can imagine. He said somebody was really having a go at Rikishi once, and someone went to him, big mistake. When he was in the ring with him, the guy passed out because of the bloody, smell.
Do you remember Too Cool?
I do. I met the Worm and everything. And Jerry Lawyer's son.
Yeah, Brian Christopher.
Yeah, and it's got too hot air. I used to love when Rikishi would be in the ring with him and do it, and
Oh, you had the hat, actually.
yeah.
Come think
See,
of it.
you're getting you in Rikishi out.
It's old school USA, TNT, and Nickelodeon. Now it's endlessly Charmed, Law and Order, and NCIS. That is
old school Nickelodeon was phenomenal, right? Old school Nickelodeon used to be incredible. When I was a kid, I would watch Nickelodeon. I remember I'd come home, I'd watch Nickelodeon, I'd sit there and I'd watch it till probably about 8 o'clock in the evening because my mum would have watched soaps at that point. But it always felt so cool, I loved it. I really
What's your
did.
favorite stuff?
Now
Like, what were some of your favorite shows on Nickelodeon? Anything stand out?
my favourite shows, Saved by the Bell, Hey Arnold, Sister, Kid and the Cow, Cat and Dog, Rocco's Modern Life, Ren and Stimpy.
Doug.
What else was on there?
Old School Doug was great.
I think there was a couple more shows.
Yeah, somebody said, Maddie said, "Hey, dude, salute your shorts." I remember salute your shorts.
Yep.
No,
And Doug. How could I forget Doug? Doug was phenomenal.
Thank you, Alan. Really appreciate that, man. Real Monsters.
Oh, that's nice. That's really kind of you, Alan, to say that.
I'm feeling.
What a compliment ever in the universe.
Wasn't Clarissa Explains Everything on Nickelodeon?
Clarissa Explains Everything was as well. That was a good one. Sabrina wasn't on there. That was on ITV over there, I think.
No, Sabrina came on later. That's ABC.
What else was on Nickelodeon?
Well, if you watch the early stuff, then there was like the, Nickelodeon got its big start. Thanks to Canada.
Our Real Monsters. Yeah, that's right. Our Real Monsters was another one.
Thanks to Canada, because
I never saw Pete and Pete, but yeah,
we did a show here called "You Can't Do That on TV."
Yeah,
and You Can't Do That on TV had this thing where if you said, I think you said what, then you would be slime, like this green slime would come down on you, and so that show got transferred over to Nickelodeon. And they liked the slime aspect. And Nickelodeon just started putting slime in like so many of their shows. Like they had like their game shows and stuff where the people get slimed.
Well, thanks to Alan, just remembered because he said Wild Thornberrys and Rugrats.
Yeah, fantastic shows, by the way. I love the Wild Thornberrys. Oh, God, that was a good show. Rugrats was one of my favorites. Did you like All Grown Up?
Yeah, I didn't mind it, but to be honest with you, because I was so used to them as babies, it kind of was a bit hard to get adjusted at first. But yeah, I like it. I like it a lot. I thought about buying the whole collection of that and the original series from Australia because they released it in one big box set.
Alanis Morissette, yes, she did get her start in You Can't Do That on TV.
Which was really good. Robbed at gunpoint in Brooklyn with a backpack full of DVDs. Oh
that
no!
Sucks, man.
Matty, she won't acknowledge you. Can't do that on television because the showrunner wouldn't let her get a big head.
That's probably true, actually. And Alanis Morissette would probably acknowledge that part of it then, because she was on the show for a long. She was young when she was on that show. You go back and see her; she's like super young. Have you ever seen You Can't Do That on TV?
I don't think so.
It's like a skit like type show, and it's funny. It's kind of kid funny, and there's like
a bit like the Amanda Show,
except funnier than the Amanda Show, because some of the people that are in it are just better actors. Secret World of Alex Mack. I used to love that show.
I forgot about that one as well.
Because she turned into that like
classic. It was so annoying when that was released on DVD in terrible version.
I heard that. I was going to pick it up and I didn't because of that.
It's like 3 series on 2 discs or something.
Who put that out?
Echo Bridge, I think.
What a shock! What a shock! Yeah.
I watched things. I watched the Amanda Show. This was later on. Drake and Josh. You know, I remember watching iCarly with my cousins because they
My
were
kids
watching it
love
with
that
my
Carl.
friends'
I used to watch
kids.
it with kids.
And I'm going to be honest with you, I felt like at times that show was way too goofy. Like,
Oh,
there's a squirrel on your face and all that stuff.
like
A lot of it felt like it was more for, like, like 4-year-olds than it was for, like, you know what I mean? That's what it felt like to me.
it's trying to hit the tween audience, but it doesn't always work, right?
No.
That's like, well, one that worked, I think, better for that was a show called Zoe 101.
Oh, yeah.
And he recently made a movie, which apparently
And the
is very
Babysitter's Club.
good. Yeah, I remember Very Club. Have you watched Hot Fudge, a children's variety show from the 70s and 80s? I actually think I did, but I don't remember much of it. I'd have to check it out again.
I can see why you'd say Alex Mack was Smallville before Smallville existed. That makes a lot of sense, actually.
And you know the crazy part, like Allison Mack. I actually got, because when Alex Mack came on, and when I heard Smallville was coming on, I was like, "Is that the girl from Alex Mack?" Like, no, that's the character's name. Like that's the true story, by the way.
There you go, Mill Creek. I knew it was one of them bad ones. Well, on the DVD side,
Well, Milk say, well, I don't have a lot of bad to say about Mill Creek now, but I mean, how long ago was that released though?
Good long while ago. Probably 2014, 15.
Because I got a lot of the Mill Creek new releases.
Yeah.
And
Mill Creek Blu-ray releases, I've got no problem with. I mean, they're not always the greatest, but they're good at what they are. Like the Ultramen and stuff.
Oh, the Ultraman ones are freaking fantastic. I wish
That's what I
wish Shout Factory would put as much work into their Sentai releases, because there's no features on those.
It's sad, but there was all that controversy over that Dan Snyder guy, wasn't there?
That guy was
What a horrible thing.
I was like, so when I was growing up, there was a show called Head of the Class, and it was Howard Hessman, who would come off of like WKRP in Cincinnati. He was a big star on that, and to play like this teacher who's a normal guy that has a classroom of like geniuses.
Yeah,
and he's kind of like teaching them how to be regular kids, basically. And so Dan Snyder, that's where Dan Snyder comes from. Initially, he was one of the kids on the show. Unfortunately, Dan Snyder turned out to be a super creepy guy in real life, and should be keep as far away from like any like kid shows as possible. And you could see it. I mean, like watching some of the shows, like especially if you look back on it now, like the one with Ariana Grande. What's the name of that one again? Ariana Grande. You know the.
Yeah. Oh, are you talking about? She was in Victorious, right?
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, she was not the brightest character, but there was always these weird, like, just weird, like she was a kid, and the way they did it was very creepy. It was creepy. Some of the stuff.
She was in because they did the Cat and Sam show as well, didn't they?
Yeah, Sam is never acting again, man. Though she put out a her book, like I'm Glad My Mother's, that's definitely a cool one. Do I think Buffy show on Blue will ever get?
Well, I can talk a little bit about that because they did these supposed HDs, didn't they, of them to put on Amazon?
Yeah.
And they were horrendous, and I think that's one of the reasons why they haven't come out on Blu-ray. Because they were just horrendous and so bad. I mean, there was like floor after floor after floor. You could see the crow and everything. Absolutely ridiculous.
It was bad.
Yeah, I don't think it. I think it'll come out at some point, but whether or not it'll be a great release or all that is another thing. I mean, I would have loved if Angel would come out on Blu-ray by now.
Oh,
I would have, because I love that show. I actually love that more than Buffy. After series 3.
When you actually go back and watch them again, Angel does work better than Buffy, and it's a lot less problematic than Buffy too. Almost all the characters, when you go back and watch like Buffy, especially the guy characters, they're all written like Joss Whedon.
Yeah,
and that's not a good thing. Like, I don't know who is more unlikable than Xander. Xander's just a dick. Xander's a complete, Mill Creek Terrace, Crown International, Horror High, Lurkers, Crater Lake Monster. I actually liked iCarly. I watched that with my kids. I didn't mind it because of the girl that played Sam. Actually, I thought she was one of the best parts of it. Really good actress. I did see a little bit of Sam and Cat, but most of the stuff I'm older. So when my kids were that age, we'd watch like what's the one with the Hannah Montana, right?
That's on Disney.
Yeah, like we watched Hannah Montana and watched like stuff on that.
Did you ever watch Human Statements?
Yeah, even Stevens a little bit like before that. Janet McCurdy's fantastic. She did a really good podcast, actually.
I feel really bad for her, to be honest, because you can tell she's been really messed up from the business and her
That's the thing.
family.
Yeah, kid actors, like, I mean, there's only two ways, Malcolm, that this ends up. It's either a mess, or you find it. Oh, look, they actually had a good time with that. Most of the time, that's not it. Imagine you're 8 years old, and hey, your family's financial situation is rested on your shoulders. That can't be good. I'm like, I don't care how nice your parents are.
Especially if you've got a terrible family for just exploiting it continuously.
Oh yeah, like a lot of those staged moms and dads are living vicariously through their kids, not in a good way. Like there was that show that used to come on. God, I couldn't watch it. I don't think I've ever seen an episode of it. But I did.
Dance Moms?
The ones with the little kids, and they did
Dance Moms.
Toddlers and Tiaras. Okay, that's what.
Okay, similar, yeah.
Like for me, it's utterly disgusting. Like not the little kids and it's not it's not a me thing. I guess it just seems weird, to put little kids in beauty shows.
Well, it's the same with it's the problem with things like that. It just seems really exploitive and it seems degrading.
Yeah, why do you put a 6-year-old in a bathing suit? That's what the hell.
Yeah.
That's
and why would you sit there watching that? You know what I mean? Why would you go there live to watch that?
You know who's watching that? It's not aside from the parents, and aside from the parents, lots of creepy people.
Yeah.
Lots of creepy people. Dan's not through a massive fit when Nick canned one of his shows, and when they fired him, it all came out. Yes, he was, and he had a lot of successful programs too.
It's what you call creeper.
He was creepy as, and he had something with the feet thing too, right? He
play with their feet. Even the guy's feet, you would touch him and go, "Oh, look, I massage your feet," because you're obviously in pain.
Well, they
and
did
then he'd rub him on his face.
Hey guys, we're you send what was it? Victorious Ariana Grande was doing a feet thing. Send your feet pics with the name of the show written on it type thing. And I'm like, what the hell, man? Friends with Brian Peck. Is he really? Brian Peck's that's the guy from Drake and Josh, right? Drake and Josh.
No, that's not.
Or is that the other guy?
It's Josh Peck, isn't it? It's just
Josh Peck. Okay, who's Brian Peck?
Or Drake Bell and Josh Peck.
Yeah, because I'm trying to think. Is that maybe it's someone I don't know? I don't follow a lot of this stuff, right?
It seems like that could be the case.
Friend Living Dead. Oh yeah, it is. Oh shoot! He frequently collaborated with Bryan Singer and Dan Schneider.
Ooh!
Yikes!
Oh.
Okay, let's change topics.
Yep.
Hin came over, and she was like,
"Right,
she tells me. She lets me know when I've gone on for a topic too long. Where were we at before this? We went down a rabbit hole. Oh, we did. I got to say, one thing we didn't do last night, which I wanted to do, we were looking at some of the comic stuff, and so I went into an anonymous Reddit group, right? Because I collect a lot of comics like that, and so I had to check on the compendiums, because DC does a lot of these big compendium type books, usually around 1,200, 1,300 pages. That's big for a soft cover.
Yeah, that's what you want.
So I'm like, is it going to be like, how does it hold up, like spine wise? You want to know that type of stuff. So they're like, it's, holds up pretty good. And they asked, so how much, what was the price? And I let them know what the price was. And they're like, that's cheaper than it is in the United States right now on sale. So I was like, oh, I'm so glad that I pre-ordered those. So the ones I pre-ordered, by the way, guys, I ordered Big Frackin' Lobo. I pre-ordered Milestone Volume 3. And I pre-ordered Batman Eternal.
Nice. I I bought another graphic novel today
What did you get?
myself. I bought Batman and Catwoman. You know, the new one,
Oh, okay.
the hardback.
The Black Label one, right?
I believe so. Yeah, the one about 12 issues. Sorry, I don't know why, but I've got really big out on it. Let me mute me.
Okay. Super Smallville animated series. That's what I really do too. Like, I really love My Adventures with Superman. I think it's a fantastic cartoon. It was way better than I thought it was going to be. That's
Is the
Jack
small
Quaid.
animated series going to have Tom Welling doing the voice?
Yeah, it's Tom Wellinger and Michael Rosenbaum that are actually getting it together. Like they're
Oh, lovely!
working on it for a
That's
while.
awesome. I've been enjoying their podcast.
Inside of you, like Michael Rosenbaum is very good when it comes to podcasts.
I've been enjoying that.
I would love to have gotten they've gotten Michael Rosenbaum on here. So I'm working, hopefully, to try in maybe October or ish, depending on like what the schedule is like, to get Jamie Blanks back on the channel for an episode. So I'll keep you guys updated. But we were talking the other night, and he's very luckily very busy doing lots of cool stuff.
Nice.
So yeah, yeah. Well, I try to check in every once in a while, and yeah. So hopefully, fingers crossed. I thought about that because Rosenbaum acted in Urban Legend, right? Because so I'm like, oh,
Yeah.
Urban Legend. That's the way my mind works, guys. It's like 6 degrees of separation of all the time.
Yeah.
And which I might actually rewatch. I actually haven't watched Urban Legend in a while, but I kind of want to watch Smallville too. I watched just before I moved here. I was rewatching Smallville, and I got to season 6. Is it the one where the season where Jonathan gets assassinated? Is that 6?
You mean when he dies?
Yeah. Where he
5.
keeps like kind of 5. So 5 because the 100th episode, right? Because he keeps trying to kind of change time and stuff like that, but he realized every time that he changes,
I think that's season 5.
Yeah, when there's 100th episode,
Matty, what are you doing? You haven't watched Urban Legend Bloody Mary yet? That's a classic. You need to watch that tonight.
Fun. I mean, like I actually liked, or I thought I was going to hate it. I so much thought I was going to hate that movie.
It wasn't that bad at all.
I know. Like, isn't Kate Mara in that one? That's her, right? Kate Mara.
So, yeah.
Like it's pretty obvious who the killer is. Like,
I'm going to say this. I'm going to say this. I still always know what you did last summer. That's awful.
That is so bad. That is
so bad. I can't believe that's even out in the box set, to be honest.
Well, they had to put it in there, right? Even though it's a horrible movie. And it's got the stupidest premise too, right? And it's too bad because you got like the
whole ice pick thing just makes me go, oh.
Do you know what's really killer? I remember speaking like back Urban Legend Bloody Mary. I know it's like CGI done for a lot of it, but not all of it. That spider scene, that messed me up.
Not bad.
And Urban Legend Bloody Mary, this scene for those that don't know. Yeah. So where she's looking in the mirror and she sees like kind of like a kind of hole in her face, and so like spiders start coming out of her face and coming. It's like, yeah.
Oh, would you like to? I'll have to get them. But would you like to see my latest Japanese movies I got in the mail from that guy I got the others from?
Sure.
All right, give me a sec.
Yeah, there was actually some initial. If you can find them somewhere, Trek, like initial like drawings for the Buffy animated series, because they did start like in the kind of the pre-production portion of it. Yeah, I'm a huge arachnophobe, So like the whole like the spider scene in Bloody Mary, I was looking away from the screen so much, man. Well, yeah, Maddie, just know that if you're not a spider person, there's that one. It's only one scene, but it is an intense scene. It's worse than the Lucio Fulci library scene from the house by the cemetery. Yeah, I've seen that actually.
Right, you ready?
I'm ready. I'll just show on like.
So I've got this one in the player, which is Warrior of the Wind at the minute.
I like that.
Which is, I thought it was going to be black and white, but it's actually in colour. So that was kind of a bonus. I got to be honest, I really like this. I watched one before it called Samurai Executioner, which I can't show you because it's got nakedness on the cover. But it showed like this samurai executing this naked woman. And I was like, oh, wow. Watched it. It was just a comedy. So then I've got Red Peony Gambler 3.
Oh, nice.
That's number 3. I've got Gyagu Chronicles 2, The Secret Sword. Then I've got Red Peony Gambler 2.
I love the artwork on this.
And then Kagashi Manjiro. This is number 1.
It's got a very like kind of almost a comic book style to the art there.
Yeah. And the last one, Yagu Chronicles 3, The Valley of the Outlaws.
I know he's gonna be cool because he's got an eye patch.
Now, Yagu Chronicles has 9 movies in the series. So I've got to get the other 6 after I watch these ones. So
Oh, it's like if you get there and you don't like them, you're like, damn,
yeah, that's what I mean. So I got to watch them before I buy the rest of the series.
Before you totally commit. And with that being said, guys, we've come to that time again where we are going to say our goodbyes for now. Interesting like things for TerraVision, interesting wrestling and unique conversations. You never know what you're going to get here, guys. But come back next time. Be sure, I forgot to say this. Like, share, subscribe.
Yep.
Going soon. So you want a super sticker, super chat, or donate. It's right there. Get yourself a eventually one of these here.
Hey.
To you. And with that being said, we'll see you guys next time. So
Thanks for watching, everybody.